All right, it's game 11, 12?
12.
Game 12 of the Bourne Braves season, and we are back here at Doran Park. The Bravos getting set to take on the Cotuit Kettleers. Welcome to Before the Bravos, our Braves pregame show. Calvin Christopher alongside Nick Galley, as always. And if you're joining us for last night's broadcast, you would have heard Daniel and Reeves banter on how great these new headphones on.
Oh my goodness!
But
they didn't shut up about it.
You can look at them now and see that they're great because we're wearing them. So obviously they look good.
And our hands aren't here.
Our hands are not holding up the microphone. We got
mic.
brand new headsets. We look beautiful in them. We know we look beautiful in them. But let's.
You're hyping us up too much too early on.
I think I'm hyping us up accurately enough. But let's turn to some baseball. I mean, that's why the people are paying good money to watch us talk about this. The Braves last night, a 4-0 shutout win against Wareham, and Gordon Graceffa was just exceptional. What an exclamation point on his season in the Cape Cod. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits allowed, no walks, 4 strikeouts, no runs allowed. He was great, Nick. Just cap off his performance from last night.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to end it. What a way to end his time here in Bourne. Obviously, he was released this morning to go prepare for the draft. He's definitely going to be taken. I'm expecting somewhere between rounds 10 and 15, right in that area.
Really? I think it's going to be much higher than that.
You think so? I mean, I think going into it all, he's ranked as number 205 on the prospect list right now.
Okay.
Going into it, I think that's where he would have been. If scouts really put a lot on his performances in the Cape, which, you never know what teams are thinking. I think, yeah, you're very right. He could go much higher.
I think he's going to be around the 4th round.
The 4th round?
Yes.
Really?
I think he'll be a lot higher than that. We gotta set around and we can talk about what. I think he's gonna be much higher than that 10 to 15.
My thought's always been 10 to 15. I'll go 7 or 8.
Okay,
7 to 10 at the highest.
I think that's more accurate. But we're here to talk about collegiate baseball.
Yes.
We're not talking about the MLB draft. Gordon Graceffa was exceptional.
He was outstanding.
He was great. Tristan Vreeling and Eric Adler just as good out of the bullpen last night.
Tristan Vreeling was unbelievable. Stunning.
Tristan Vreeling pitched last night with the most confidence I think I've seen a Bourne Braves pitcher pitch with this entire season.
No one was touching him.
No
one was touching him.
1-2-3 innings. 9 batters he faced. He pitched 3 innings. Didn't allow a hit. He was throwing flames last night. He was great. And then Eric Adler getting his 4th save of the season. He was just locked down out of the pen. I don't know if they considered to say they didn't because the Braves had a 4-0 lead.
Yep.
But he did slam the door once more for the Bravos last night. Eric Adler, who has kind of owned this Braves closer role, so that looks like what he'll be going forward for this Braves team. Pitching was great. Hitting,
they did enough.
They did enough, and that is where where this Braves team is at right now. Is doing enough, going to be good going forward when Graceffa leaves, and we'll get to Nick Zwack in a minute. But he's on his way out the door. We don't know, but they did enough last night. They got the win. They improved to 9-0-2 on the season. So tonight it's the Cotuit Kettleers, who I was talking to Coach Graber earlier, Coach KG, and we both agreed. Every time you play the Cotuit Kettleers, you take their record, you throw that out the window.
Yeah.
Because Cotuit is a much better team than 5-6 coming into Doran Park tonight. So they're going to give the Braves a run for their money, but Nick Zwack, who's getting the ball tonight, pitched a gem against them last time out.
He was outstanding. He earned the first win of any Bourne Braves starter last time out against Cotuit. One thing I'm a little bit concerned about, I never like when a pitcher goes against the same team twice within kind of the span of around a week.
Gordon Graceffa proved you wrong last night.
He proved me wrong last night. I didn't like it really last night, but Graceffa was outstanding. Is it going to happen again tonight with Nick Zwack? Definitely he has the stuff in order to make it happen again. But again, it's just one of those things I have where I'm like, I don't like it. I've seen it a lot of times where a pitcher's dominant first time out against a team, and next time they kind of figure him out a little bit. Nick Zwack proved me wrong again. I think you're able to, but we're going to see what happens here on this field.
Nick Zwack, his last start before he goes off for the draft as well. Let's talk about the lineup behind him tonight. Joe Lampe back in center field, back in the starting lineup. Talking to him today, he got one in the arm last night, hit by a pitch. He got a nice little bruise, nice little shiner on his arm going, but he's back ready to go and ready to hit in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, man, that hit by a pitch last night, I mean, he flung that back.
Was good. That was a great spike.
You could tell he was in pain, though. I mean, that was a bat fling of pain right there, no doubt about it.
Bat fling of pain.
A bat fling.
That seems like a supervillain move.
It does. I mean, that could be one of our new sayings on the show.
Yeah,
we have a lot of them.
Bat fling of pain.
I told you, I got to keep up with you. You got all your, typical sayings in your back pocket that you just whip out every show. Right. So I gotta come up with something creative. But Joe Lampe, he's a leadoff guy. He's been doing what he's been doing. And we're going to see more of that tonight, hopefully. But he's got to get this offense started early because at home, we know this team struggles a bit.
I hope so, too. And Christian Knapczyk not in the lineup tonight. He had a tough night last night. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts, hit into a double play with the bases loaded, and really nobody out in the inning. So he had a rough night. Coach Harvey Shapiro giving him a night off. So Kyler Fedko's, he's in right field. He's batting second.
Kyler Fedko, I think, had a great game last night in the sense that he was doing things on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely.
He obviously made the catch in the bottom of the fifth that saved the run from scoring. That would have been the first lead of the game. If Wareham gets the lead in that game, who knows what happens? If they break the 0-0 tie, this streak could be over. We might not be talking about the streak, but he makes the catch, then comes out in the top of the sixth, RBI base hit. Bourne takes the lead. So that was a huge, huge momentum chain of plays that Kyler Fedko had by himself. Great to see him in the 2 spot again tonight. Hopefully he can build off that.
You know who else had a huge, huge momentum change of things, as I quote Nick Galley here? That was Max Anderson, because this was a 2-0 game in the top of the 9th inning, and Eric Adler didn't have a clean inning. We mentioned his save, but he put 2 guys on base, so it was critical for the Braves to get some run support, and Max Anderson delivered the big hit, a 2-out, 2 RBI single to turn this from a 2-0 game to a 4-0 game, so he's back in the lineup. At this point, I know it's early, but I know we both love Max Anderson.
Yeah.
I think he is your every night 3-hitter going forward.
I go for it, honestly. I mean, the kid's been fantastic already, and he looks confident. He's honestly the first guy I think we've seen that has come into Bourne and just settled immediately. And that's what it looks
right off the jump, you got that hit in his first at bat, 2 for 2 night, his first game this season, and he's never looked back.
No, he looks so comfortable, which is just so rare. I mean, to have a guy come in to a team like this, and maybe it was the fact that they're on this massive win streak. He comes into it. The team chemistry is great, and they welcome him in, so he feels good. But he's looked incredible. Hopefully he keeps that up tonight. I saw him, too, taking some reps over at first base early in practice today. Coach Kevin Graber was throwing some balls in the dirt for him. And
Coach KG does anything.
He does anything. I mean, he's great for this team. And Anderson was working on some scoops and stuff, so we might see him getting tried out at first base in the near future here. Which, again, just adds to the depth of this team with Reggie Crawford out of Team USA.
That's Nick Galley for you, showing up 4 hours before the game.
I get here 4 hours early.
So you can watch Coach KG throw balls in the dirt to Max Anderson.
A couple laps around the field. I'm doing, bench presses out here. I mean, I do everything 4 hours before the game.
He had to hammer in a couple of bases today. He redid the dugout roofs.
I did.
So that's Nick Galley for you, but
what can I say?
He's not on the field tonight. Dalton Rushing is. He's in the 4 spot tonight. Your pick to pop last night. I got to give you a victory, right?
You got to give me it. I mean, he was good.
Two hit night last night, so that opens your lead to 3-1 in our picks to pop. Dalton Rushing, a 2-hit night tonight following the game on Friday night when he had a no-doubter of a home run against Falmouth. He's been hot. He's been great. He's been the left-handed bat in the middle of this order that the Braves desperately need.
Yeah, Dalton Rushing, I've really liked what I've seen from him so far because the few games prior before these 2 games that he's had, he was looking a little bit cold at the plate, going through some maybe growing pains or something. But he's looked much better through these past 2 games, and you need that power bat in the lineup.
You absolutely do, but Dalton Rushing, for as hot as he is, he's playing great baseball right now. He's playing great baseball. Nobody, maybe even on the Cape, is hotter than Colton Bender. He started at the 8 spot, right?
Yeah.
And he's been in the 8 spot catching, hitting 8th, 6th, couple of more knocks. He hit that home run the other night against Harwich into the night when that game was pretty much over. Colton Bender made that a tied game. He moves up to the number 5 spot in the lineup tonight. He's catching, hitting 5th.
You're putting a lot of trust in Colton Bender.
He's been great.
I was going to say, you're going to put a lot of trust. A lot of trust in Colton Bender to put him at 5, and he has earned that trust.
Absolutely.
He has been outstanding, coming in tonight, batting over 400, on a 5-game hit streak, too.
Yes.
So, I mean, this kid is just on a tear right now, and that's what you kind of love about the temporary players. I mean, there are some temporary players that come in, and they say, you know what, I'm going to make the most of this opportunity. My days might be limited. I'm going to make sure I stay here. Colton Bender's staying here.
I completely agree. I completely agree. Big summer for him, transferring from Quinnipiac to Rutgers. So it's a big summer for him, and he's taken every single opportunity to his advantage, moving up from the number 8 spot in the lineup, hitting 5th tonight. The guy behind him is Colby Thomas. He's playing left field, hitting 6th. No Caden Wallace in the lineup tonight. Colby Thomas back out there. He's another one of those guys. There's a couple of them on this team. We'll get to Josh Moylan later. But Colby Thomas, a guy, the talent. You know how smooth his swing is. It's going to come at some point, right?
I need more from him, though. We keep saying it's going to come at some point. I need more tonight. Okay. Tonight it needs to come.
I hope so. I hope it comes tonight, too, because his swing has just been so good. And It's a beautiful. He's got a beautiful swing, and he needs to put the bat on the ball more. And he's played an excellent defensive left field.
He's been great defensively.
Great defensively.
There's never been a question about his defense yet so
So
far.
I'd love to see him get into a ball here tonight and try to just build his confidence. Another guy I'd love to see get into a ball tonight is Braylon Wimmer. He's back at second base, his natural position where he's played. He played his college ball this year at South Carolina. He's hitting 7th at second base. Came out of the gate scorching hot. He hit that home run in the season opener against Hyannis. He came back the next night, hit a no-doubt 3-run home run against Brewster. But since then, he's been quiet.
Yeah.
Last time we saw him in the field was a 3-strikeout game against Falmouth, and eventually got pulled. He got pinch hit for in that game. So I'd like to see, Braylon Wimmer get back to where he was in Game 1 and Game 2 in the season.
He needs to get back to that. I think when he has those 2 great games to open the season, the expectation is very high for him.
So high,
I know we were really high on him immediately. Like, Braylon Wimmer.
How could he not be a 6'4" second baseman?
I know we were saying Braylon Wimmer's going to hit 30 home runs this year, saying all that, and then
he was on pace to hit 40 at the time.
He was. He really was. And obviously, as you mentioned, he's cooled off. So he needs to find the rhythm again. You'd like to see him. I don't know. They switch him around in the field. He's infield, outfield. Maybe set him at one position and see if he can just find a rhythm or something.
That's just really tough, though, because you look at the talent of this team. You got Caden Wallace.
There's too much talent.
Who's playing in left field. You got the infield up the middle that we both love. And we got Christian Knapczyk at short, Tanner Schobel at second. You can flip-flop those two guys. Also, Nick Goodwin, a guy who you love to see playing in the infield. He's going to get his reps, too. So it's really hard, especially this early in the season, to hammer down Braylon Wimmer as an everyday player in this lineup just because the pure talent around him.
Yeah, I mean, they need to figure. He just needs some sense of consistency, I think, now.
It's just really hard.
Yeah, he needs some sense of consistency, and it's almost impossible to give him that. Yeah. So, tough situation he's in. Hopefully, he can get back on track tonight.
Hopefully, he can make the most of his opportunity tonight against the Cotuit Kettleers. He's hitting 7th, batting 8th tonight. Is a guy that he's really struggled, probably the most on the team, and that is Josh Moylan. I don't remember. I think his last hit was last Friday against Harwich.
I'm not even.
He hit that ball down the left field line against Harwich. I believe that was his last hit. Great guy. One of the nicest guys in this team. Someone everyone in Bourne is rooting for, but he's really struggled. And you look at his college numbers. He tore up the American Conference this year at East Carolina. Hit a no-doubt home run in the Super Regional against Jack Leiter. So we know it's there. Thomas, we know it is there, but I'd love to see Josh Moylan come around tonight.
Everyone's rooting for him, obviously. Yep. Us included.
Absolutely.
You want to see this kid heat up. You know he's a good enough player to be here, or else he would not be even on this team right now.
Yep.
So it honestly, at this point, is just a matter of your mental headspace right now. That's all it is. And we know baseball is so mental just as much as it is physical. And when you're put in this new environment in a league like this, it is hard to get out of kind of a mental funk. And I think that's what he's in right now. We just keep waiting for him to break out of it. Just needs to calm down, relax, stay settled. I know he's not used to batting down in an 8-hole, too. That can be tough. That can be taxing. If his approach tonight should just be have good at-bats.
Yeah.
You don't even need it. I mean, work the count. If you don't get a hit, you don't get a hit. You want to get a hit, obviously. He needs one. But just work the count. Good at-bats. Just get on base tonight.
Yeah, and he had a great at-bat. He took a walk against Falmouth. Maybe that's something he can try to build off of
that. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's something he'll try to build off of tonight. And it can be a slew of different reasons why this transition is difficult. You're probably not used to facing the pitching. You get a Friday, Saturday starter every single night. The transition from wood to metal is really tough. Metal to wood, I should say, is really tough. So there's a lot of different reasons why you can struggle out of the gate, but the talent from Josh Moylan we both know is there. So hopefully, I think we both think it's going to turn around at some point.
Yeah.
Just hopefully it's sooner rather than later, so we can join this hit parade that the Braves have been on all season.
No doubt about it. And they need his bat, too.
They do. And especially with no Reggie Crawford. He's hitting 8th. Tanner Schobel is hitting 9th tonight. He's back at second base. Last time out, he struggled against Falmouth. But he's another guy that has a great swing. We saw him break out against Brewster, a 4-for-5 night. That was Game 2 of the season. So it's there for Tanner Schobel. I'd love to see him get back to that clip he was at early in the season. He's moving over from second base to shortstop with no Christian Knapczyk in the lineup tonight. So let's see how he does offensively and defensively at short tonight.
Yeah, I'd say one thing this team's been lacking a little bit is 9-hole production as of late.
Well, Tanner Schobel, I mean, we all loved, and it was before it was Joe Lampe and Christian Knapczyk, the 1-2 punch. It was the 9-1-2 punch.
Yeah, it was.
With Tanner Schobel, Joe Lampe, Christian Knapczyk. So if he can get back to that,
they need to get back to that.
Turning the lineup over. Yeah,
that's the thing. They need to get back to that because a lot of games, especially home games. I'll say that. We talked about that yesterday about how the home away splits are
they're ridiculous,
insane. But at home games especially, and that's where we are tonight, we're in Bourne, you need to have 9-hole production, and they haven't really had that lately. So I want to see more of that. Like, you need that. Get your top of the lineup guys on base so they can drive them in.
And if you missed our broadcast last night, the Braves on the road are averaging nearly 8 runs a game. At home, it's nearly 5 runs less than that, just over 3 runs a game. But as the teams take the field here, we're just a couple seconds away from the national anthem. Give me your pick to pop for tonight.
Oh, man, you know what I'm going to do, Calvin?
Do it.
I'm going to stick with Dalton Rushing.
Okay.
Dalton Rushing, sorry. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Dalton Rushing is my guy once again tonight. I'm going back to back.
I'm going Max Anderson, just too easy. Low-hanging fruit. We're going to take the national anthem now, and before Reeves Jackson and Daniel Coates have the call, enjoy the game, everybody.
The Bourne Braves are boiling hot, 8-0-2, and with a chance here to take down the Cotuit Kettleers of our Western Division. My name is Daniel Coates. Alongside me, Reeves Jackson. Folks, you might need subtitles. 8-0-2 through the first 10 games. Unbelievable stuff here from a Braves team that is unlike anything this Cape League has seen in the last decade.
Yeah, an unbelievable start. 9 wins to begin the season. It's almost unreal that the fact that they've started out this hot with everything that they've had to endure with obviously Reggie Crawford leaving and the guy stepping into the lineup, Max Anderson and Dalton Rushing, have really filled the void in that middle of the lineup for the Braves. But I think the most outstanding thing you can say about this entire team, Daniel, is its pitching staff.
Most certainly. And we actually have Nick Zawak. He's one of the beasts of the Big East, as I coined a few days ago. That is, of course, also with Graceffo, who we have lost after his start yesterday. Impressive stuff. But we have a guy from Xavier, Nick Zawak, on the mound. He has a 0 ERA. And for the Cotuit Kettleers, they have Jake Smith, who was the starting pitcher, I should say, in that game that got canceled due to rain. So a really, really good pitching duel here in Bourne, Massachusetts.
Yeah, Nick Zawak on the season here, Daniel. 9 innings pitched. He struck out 9. He's only allowed 3 hits on the entire season. He pitched 5 innings against the Cotuit Kettleers on their last matchup a little over a week ago, and Zawak was fantastic. Nick Zawak went 5 innings in that start, allowed 1 run. It was unearned due to a Christian Knapjack error, but struck out 3 and only allowed 2 hits. So it's going to be hard to replicate that same success against the same team 2 outings in a row. But we saw Gordon Graceffo, who got roughed up a little bit against Wareham. I say roughed up. He did not get roughed up. Roughed up is compared to what he's pitched all season.
Absolutely.
But he was excellent in the start last night. So hopefully Nick Zawak can be like Graceffo, and the second time around can be even more excellent on the mound.
The Bourne Braves come into this game 8-0-2, and the Cotuit Kettleers come in 5-6. They just beat also a member of the West Division, the Falmouth Commodores, a score of 3-4. And we're going to get things going here in Bourne, Massachusetts. The quest to stay undefeated is underway in the 11th game of this season. Showing bunt, Nick Zawak runs after it, flicks it with the glove. Does he get him? He does! A flick of the wrist with the glove hand from Nick Zawak does it for out number 1.
That play right there that Nick Zawak just made is a lot harder than he just made that look. That is one of the more difficult plays you could possibly make, especially for a lefty. For a righty, it's easy. He runs up with the left hand. He's got the angle just to glove scoop it to first, but Zawak has got to feel that backhanded and make the scoop. That's what makes it all the more impressive. What a play for the first out.
Also retreating on that ball that got past him. Here will be the number 2 hitter, Luke Gold, from Boston College. He's the leader in home runs with 3 for the Cotuit Kettleers. Nick Zawak off to a hot start, 1 out in the top of the first. The ball misses high. Luke Gold, 6 foot, 220, the infielder for the Kettleers. Flares one behind the backstop, foul, knotted up at 1-1.
But Nick Zawak, just you cannot say enough good things. He coined it the beast from the Big East, Daniel, and for an excellent reason. Gordon Graceffo, who's now gone, made his last start yesterday, is going to obviously have his prospects set on the MLB draft. But another guy, Nick Zawak, who could very well be gone, could be and likely will be his last start before he's lost to the draft. But Nick Zawak and Gordon Graceffo, Calvin Cristoforo mentioned it on our pregame show. He said Graceffo was 1A, Zawak was 1B, and I said, Calvin, I'd argue and say Zawak is 1A and Graceffo is 1B, although they're both so interchangeable, which makes this rotation so dangerous.
2-1 turn to 2-2. Fastball low and outside. Catching the corner, Colton Bender will be the catcher behind the plate today. Peter Burns, again, improving offensively in yesterday's battle at Wareham.
Yeah, Gold tied for second, I should say, and alone in second for the RBI lead in the Cape League this season. 13 RBIs. That has came along with 3 home runs, but Gold has cooled off a bit of late. A 267 hitter on the season and is hitless over the course of his last 3 games. He is 0 for his last 10, so Daniel Zawak hoping to keep these Cotuit Kettleers and Luke Gold cooler in the batter's box.
Another foul ball from Luke Gold, make that 3. 2-2 it remains, and Luke Gold from my alma mater, boy, I am getting old after saying that. Stay in college forever, Reeves.
I have 1 more year, and I'm looking forward to it, Dave. Maybe I'll just go 2 more.
Luke Gold, when I was at BC, I had the opportunity to call a few of his games as a student, and he puts on a show there at Harrington Athletics Village. 2-2. Breaking ball, it's got him! Nick Zawak take care of the first 2 batters. 2 outs in the top of the first. Looking is Luke Gold.
Daniel, happy to say we have another gigantic crowd on hand at Doran Park tonight. I'd say, honestly, this might be the biggest crowd we've had here at Doran since opening night.
I agree. Not only on our side, which is the home side, but as well as the visiting side. You know, that entire bleacher right behind the Cotuit Kettleers dugout is completely filled.
It is, absolutely. You know, we know Cotuit is one of the best road-traveling fan bases in all of the Cape League, and they've shown out here today.
Zawak missing high with that high-velocity fastball.
Got a special guest in attendance. He was on the field. I was talking to all the coaches and Harvey Shapiro and Mike Roberts especially, but Peter Gammons, one of the most renowned writers in baseball that there's ever been. Happy to have him here. Wow, what a swing that was.
1-0, and a lackadaisical swing there from Brooks Baldwin from UNC Wilmington. In 2020, he had a .325 average, 45 RBIs, 79 hits in 54 games played. Makes one heck of a case to be a player in the 3 spot in the Cape League, as well as for the Cotuit Kettleers. Swing and a miss again. 1-2, 2 outs. Nick Zawak dealing in the top of the first.
The last time these 2 teams played, Zawak was able to limit the top of the order from doing any damage. Roberts was 0 for 4, and Luke Gold was 0 for 4. So obviously they were hitless off Zwack. Brooks Baldwin was 1 for 4, but I believe his hit came later in the game, so Zwack was able to suppress this top of the lineup.
Swing and a miss again. Baldwin goes down, similar to Luke Gold. Cole Cummings, grounder right back with the bunt, and Nick Zwack looking like the pitcher we know and love. In a few moments, we'll be back with the Braves with their bats in their hands. Jake Smith will be the pitcher on the mound to start things off for the Cotuit Kettleers tonight. And Reeves, we've seen him before, but statistically we haven't.
Yeah, statistically we haven't. He did make his and it doesn't count, but his first start of the season was against the Braves, and he pitched quite well. Only allowed a few runs. That game obviously was shortened due to rain, but on the season, Jake Smith, one outing on the year as Joe Lampe steps in for the Braves. But Daniel, that one outing, 5 innings, only 2 hits allowed, no runs, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. So Jake Smith, who is transferring to Miami, this dude is the real deal.
2 quick strikes for Jake Smith against Joe Lampe, who is 11 for 35 throughout the 10 games that have been played this season. 8-0-2, the Braves are still undefeated. Missing outside, staying alive, Joe Lampe batting .314 with 4 RBIs. He is the quintessential catalyst at the top of this lineup.
Yeah, Lampe 1 for 4 with a run scored a night ago against Wareham.
Slow chopper to first, easily handled there by Baldwin. Just taps on the bag, 1 out. Joe Lampe can't spark anything at the top of the order, but here comes Kyler Fedko. He's often seen at that 3 spot, but being bumped up to the 2. Oftentimes, Reggie Crawford, his UConn teammate, is behind him. The Big East Player of the Year in his 2021 campaign, and he looks to be the same in the Braves uniform.
Hey, he was dropped down to the 6th spot last night, came through with the big RBI single that broke the Braves on the board for the first run of the game. But Fedko getting a chance to move up to the 2 spot tonight. Obviously, the Braves don't have Christian Knapczyk in the lineup, but it's a different Braves lineup than we're used to seeing as far as the way it's constructed.
1-1. Did he go? No. So it stays 1-1.
Yeah, Braves lineup after Lampe goes Fedko, Max Anderson batting 3rd, Dalton Rushing batting 4th, Colton Bender 5th, Colby Thomas 6th, Braylon Wimmer batting 7th at 2nd, Joshua Moylan batting 8th at 1st, and Tanner Schobel batting 9th at shortstop.
Jake Smith slider doesn't slide enough. 2-1. Fedko with a good eye, 10 for 38, 5 RBIs on the season. An overcast day at Doran Park, missing high and inside, 3-1. Behind him is the newcomer, Max Anderson from Nebraska. The Cornhusker had quite a game yesterday, highlighted by a 2 RBI single. High line drive right towards the left fielder, Gariala. And that will do it. 2 outs and a defensive showing here at Bourne Park in the first inning.
From the University of Nebraska, number 31, Max Anderson.
And here's Max Anderson, as you mentioned, had that big 2-run single last night at the top of the ninth off of Skilperort for the Wareham Gatemen, and that was a big base hit. Obviously, the Braves had bases loaded until Knapcheck grounded into a 1-2-3 double play, but Anderson really came through, gave the Braves 2 big insurance runs.
Really nice slider, but it misses from Smith. You can even see from our angle just the movement from right to left that it comes into the plate with. And Max Anderson will dig in with a 1-0 count. Now 2-0. Anderson was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. So how about that? Big East Player of the Year. In front of him, now we have the Big Ten Freshman of the Year in 2021, and he shows why right there. Line drive to right field and get the Braves on base for the first time in this game.
Yeah, not bad when you can have 2 of each conference's best players batting 2 and 3 in the lineup, and then you turn to a freshman this past year at Louisville as one of the brightest futures as a left-handed power hitter in collegiate baseball. And especially here this summer, he's showing why. Dalton Rushing, one of the league's leading hitters.
I believe he's second. He's number 1 on the team for sure, and that's why he's in that 4 spot.
Yeah, he is actually 1, 2, 3, 4. He's the fifth overall in the Cape, but he is top 5 is incredible.
Hard hit, line drive, scooped up, bobbled by the second baseman Ritter, but he gets Dalton Rushing in time at first. So what looked like an unsure play turns into the end of the bottom of the first. No runs scored in the first inning. Nick Zowak will be on the mound again in just a few moments. A scoreless game here at Bourne Park, packed on both sides of us, Reeves, as we are set up here nicely in our broadcast deck. Not necessarily a booth, but elevated up here by Bourne Park as the lights have flicked on in the outfield against a Braves team that has not dropped a loss the entire season. That is 10 games. And something to look out for has been the lack of production for them at home as opposed to away. The 2 games that they have drawn have been at home, and they have struggled to get the bats going in the middle of that 200 for an average as opposed to north of 300, as that is a pop fly. Right there is Max Anderson. Should be a routine, and it is.
Well, before I could even introduce Andy Garriola, he introduced himself to us in Cotuit on the 9-2 Braves win with a bomb over the left field wall at Lowell Park. Andy Garriola, Daniel, led the entire NCAA in RBIs this past year with Old Dominion. So a big bat at the number 4 spot of the Cotuit lineup as RJ Schreck digs in. Schreck hasn't seen much time in the lineup. Will now be pretty much a mainstay. I'll tell you why in a second.
Schreck takes the first one from Zowak.
But obviously, Cotuit losing Dylan Beavers and Blake Klassen to the combination of both Team USA and the MLB draft a few days away, July 11th. So big losses for Cotuit. But, Daniel, we're going to have a few losses of our own. Obviously, we talked about it on the pregame show. We lost Graceffo. We're going to lose Nick Zwack. And there's a few more players we anticipate on losing. We anticipate losing Kyler Fedko. Mainly the rotation, though, is going to take a hit. But I feel like Bourne is going to be able to bounce back. I really do.
2-1 after a big cut from Schreck. And I agree. We've shown that with the arrivals of Max Anderson as well as Caden Wallace that we were able to fill or somewhat fill the void that Reggie Crawford has left as he travels to Team USA. 2-1. Schreck, line drive right up the middle. Chopper. Schobel, he's got him. Wow. I thought Zwack was going to have that impressive no-look behind-the-back snag off a ground ball up the middle, but Schobel, I should say, just cuts right across the infield and gets out number 2.
If Zwack was able to make that play, I don't know if anyone knows the play I'm talking about, but there was a play by an Atlanta Braves left-handed pitcher, Tyler Matzek, earlier this year. Although it wasn't on the ground, it was up in the air, and he literally no-look caught it in his glove. Yes, that literally was almost what Zwack just did there.
Yeah. He gave the...
Yes.
Hard hit line drive. Joe Lampe backtracking towards the warning track. He's got it. Joe Lampe ends things in the top of the second, and the Braves defense looking as sure-handed as ever. To the bottom of the second we go. The Braves will be in the batter's box. Colton Bender will start things off for the Braves. He's taking the place of Peter Burns, who started at catcher in the game yesterday at Wareham. 0-0 score at a packed Doran Park. Finally, we don't have rain in the forecast. Instead, it should be a perfect, crisp night for baseball. Smith start things off with a fastball low. Colton Bender, can't say enough about a catcher that is so effective, not behind the plate, but in the batter's box.
It's unbelievable.
Chopper to second. Ritter has it, flicks it over to Baldwin, and that will do it. Colby Thomas on deck now will be at the plate, but Colton Bender, 9 for 22, coming into this game with a 4.09 average, 1 homer and 6 RBIs. Doesn't show it there, but he has brought the firepower to this Braves team.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable, and I think deservedly so today. Harvey Shapiro moving him up into the 5 spot, the highest spot in the order that Bender's been at all year. Good for him.
High fly ball. Colby Thomas, looks like the shortstop Brown going to call off Cummings at third. 2 outs quickly for Jake Smith.
Yeah, Colby Thomas is just having a bit of a struggle with that pop-up ball a little lately. He's been popping out a lot to first. This one got a slider off the end of the bat and just weak contact in the infield. But Colby's going to figure it out. He's a good hitter, and he's got a good head on his shoulders.
That's exactly the first thing that I thought when the ball went up in the air was, he has been struggling with those not even fly balls, but those infield pop-ups. Braylon Wimmer back in the lineup. First pitch strike from Jake Smith. Highlighted in the last week with that RBI tying single against Chatham. Pinch hit, he came off the bench cold, and Harvey Shapiro made the right move as he flared one into right center. 1-1.
Yeah, Braylon Wimmer is a guy that obviously started the season off hot, and I wouldn't say he's cooled down. Obviously, every hitter is going to regress. You fail 7 out of 10 times as a hitter in this game. That's if you're good. But for Wimmer, obviously just look for him to get back to getting a little more consistent at-bats. Obviously putting together better ABs every time through the order. And he's a really good hitter, and I look forward to him continuing to produce here in the 7th spot for the Braves.
3-1, breaking ball inside. Braylon Wimmer, 6 for 29, 206, but the real story of his batting performance is 2 home runs and 8 RBIs, so the average doesn't tell the entirety of the story for Wimmer. 3-1, hard hit ground ball, fielded by Cummings, keeps it in front of him, but he can't secure it. Hard hit ball by Wimmer. I believe they'll score that as a hit.
They sure do.
The bottom of the second isn't over just yet.
Yeah, good for Braylon Wimmer. Obviously, regardless of him being 6 for 29 and at the lower end of this team in batting average, he still leads the team in RBIs with 8. So that goes to show you what he's able to do. But this is a guy now stepping into the box. Daniel, I'm really excited to see what he can do today. I think this is a breakout game for Josh Moylan. I really do. I think he's going to put it all together here today.
He looks at a first pitch ball, and I hope so. Reeves 2 for 18, a 111 average, no homers and no RBIs from ECU. And, you know, he was just shy of 300 at ECU for this 2020 season. But he's a guy that you're just waiting for him to explode offensively, and I think we might see that today. Swing and a miss there, 1-1. Braylon Wimmer at first, 2 outs, bottom of the second, scoreless at Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts. But as you said, we'll see him at first base today. He's had some struggles defensively as well on that right side. Wimmer going inside, ball 2. Does Wimmer get in? No! The slide is not extended enough. Wimmer might be shaken up a bit. He sits up. But a heck of a throw from Donlin to Brown. Finishes off the second inning. To the top of the third we go. It's a pitcher's and defensive duel at Doran Park here. Zero, and it's the Kettleers. The Kettleers turn to jump into the batter's box. In this scoreless game, Nick Zawak will be on the mound. And the Braves in white back on defense here at Doran Park. Reeves, take it away.
Thank you, Daniel. As the lefty Nick Zawak, who has faced the minimum thus far. 6 up, 6 down. It's the lefty Rivertown 7-0 hitter, center fielder. And a first pitch off speed. Looked like a changeup right there from Zawak. Finds the outer half of the zone. No balls and a strike. Daniel, when Nick Zawak's on the mound, And when Jake Smith is on the mound, get ready for a pitcher's duel. It's what we're in for today. That slider spins away. 1-1 as Rivertown steps in on the year. 3-4-11, a 273 hitter and a smaller sample size in the left-handed batter's box. Lefty-lefty, 1-1. And a good pitch there from Zwack.
What I'm impressed with Zwack so far is, he's thrown a handful of balls, but those are all answered by strikes in those next upcoming pitches, and that's exactly what you need if you want to be an effective starter in this league.
Zwack looking to take care of Rivertown to begin the third, and he fouls it right over us. Daniel, we've had a few scares the last few home games on foul balls coming up here to the booth.
And we never thought we had. This net has to be 40 feet tall, and some have had the perfect trajectory where it goes right over and drops right towards us here on the left side of the deck at Bourne Park. But again, you got to be on your toes. You have to be ready for anything here.
Inside there to Town. Count runs even to 2-2 as we've had some close calls. Balls hit off of the roof. Obviously, we're lucky enough to be out on the balcony here at Bourne Park. One of the cooler broadcast setups, obviously biased opinion for me here with Bourne. As here's the 2-2 from Zwack and bounced right up the middle. A few of those today. Schobel all the way across to the second base side, going to his left. And a nice stretch there by Josh Moylan. One down here in the third.
Great stretch by Josh Moylan, but I got to say a better play from Schobel. He's had to deal with a lot of balls right up the middle, and so has Zwack. I think every other ball put in play has been right between his legs, but Zwack handling it well with composure, and the composure also transcends over to there at shortstop. Working mostly up the middle today is Tanner Schobel.
Big crowd here at Bourne Park. If I had to guess, I'd say today, gotta have over 1,000 people in attendance.
Most certainly. I think this is up there and competes with the opening day crowd that we had.
100%. I can't argue with you there. First pitch here to Ryan Ritter, the 8-hole hitter. He's playing second base for the Kettleers today. Ritter this season, a 278 hitter. No homers, 2 driven in. He's walked 3 times and has 6 punch-outs. Braves defense playing him mostly straight up. 1-0 here from Zwack at a swing and a miss. A beautiful changeup. The Braves defense left to right. Thomas, Lampy, Fedko. Third to first, Anderson, Schobel, who has been busy early on. Wimmer and Moylan working with his battery mate, Colton Bender. It's a shame that Peter Burns isn't catching because the catcher, I should say the home plate umpire tonight, his name is Sparky Burns. Might be the first time I've ever seen.
That's an awesome name, Sparky Burns.
Yeah, that's a baseball name right there.
And real quick, with Ryan Ritter here at the plate for the Kettleers, he's from the University of Kentucky. We got some news the other day that one of the guys that we dropped, that's John Thrasher from the University of Hartford. He just announced that he will be transferring to Kentucky, so Ritter will be the future teammate of John Thrasher. We wish John Thrasher all the best. Kentucky, obviously a huge and really well-known program in that SEC, so only big things coming from John Thrasher. And Ritter is an incoming junior. His 2021 stats, he was 275 average, 3 homers and 20 RBIs for the Wildcats.
Oh, what a pitch, a changeup that finds its way back on the inside corner. Ritter's knees were buckled as that pitch moved back in. Zwack gets the strikeout looking of Ritter, and Zwack has 3 strikeouts to the first 8 batters of the lineup as looking to retire the first 9 in order. It'll be the 9-hole hitter and catcher Matt Donlin.
Donlin from UConn. A lot of UConn guys down here on the Cape this summer. Of course, Reggie Crawford on our team, as well as Kyler Fedko.
This one is skied into shallow right. Fedko over in foul territory, and he makes the catch. I say shallow right, but as it creeps towards that almost pesky-like pull out and right, it actually turns pretty deep.
Yeah, speak of the devil and he shall appear. Kyler Fedko, that's Donlin, the UConn Husky to the UConn Husky in right field. So that will do it, Reeves.
Yeah, great job for Nick Zwack the first time through the order. 9 up, 9 down. Now the Braves bats will look to get him some runs and take the lead here as we head to the bottom of the third. Joshua Moylan will still be in the batter's box here after Braylon Wimmer was caught stealing. So Moylan will start with a fresh count of the bases clean here in the bottom of the third. 8-9-1 due up for the Bravos. Joshua Moylan, Tanner Schobel, and Joe Lampion. First pitch inside there to Moylan, and Moylan struggled striking out, Daniel. Swinging and missing has been his issue early on in the season, but he seems over the past few games he's coming close to getting back to his true form and what he was with the Pirates.
Yeah, he's making solid contact, which is really all you can ask for. A lot of times it's psychological, and you can tell, like, when you can't get it into those gaps, it starts eating at you. But he's ahead here, and that's 3-0, so I got to imagine he's going to take here. But as I was saying, 2 for 18, no homers, no RBIs, just not the start. But if you think about it, only 1/4 of the way through this season, so a lot of time to make that up.
3-0, he's fallen behind Moylan. He gets a fastball across for strike one. Jake Smith, who was at Chipola in 2019, as Moylan serves this into left. Garriola right at him. Didn't have to move a bit. Makes the catch. One down. So Moylan, once again, an example of hitting it hard, but right at someone.
That's exactly what I mean. You know, that is a really well-hit ball opposite field. But Garriola is right there like he was with Kyler Fedko back in the first inning.
But for Jake Smith, was at Chipola in 2019, State College of Florida in 2020, and in 2020, before COVID, is his first pitch to Schobel, is a slider that misses out of the zone. Was 5-1 with a 1.57 ERA. He struck out 59 over 40 innings. He threw 2 complete games, and in conference games had an ERA of 0. And an 0.77 opponent's batting average. I mean, those are just ridiculous numbers, no matter who you're facing. It's tough at any level to do. Slider misses a bit outside there to Tanner Schobel, who finds himself back in the 9 spot today.
Yeah, I love Tanner Schobel in this 9 spot. 6 for 19 on the season, 1 homer and 5 RBIs.
Schobel watches that strike. 4 of those 6 hits came in one game. That was against the Brewster Whitecaps in the second game of the season. So Schobel looking to heat up a little bit. 3 balls and 2 strikes. As much success that the Braves had early on in the season at that 9 spot, Daniel, they've had some trouble getting anyone going in that 9 spot. Nick Goodwin's had a little bit of trouble. Tanner Schobel's been cold of late. 3-2, and Schobel fouls it back to the screen. But regardless of those guys being cold as far as not producing offensively with base hits, they're putting together disciplined at-bats. They're working the count deep, and they're even drawing walks in the games they start. So even if they're not getting on base via the base hit, they're still putting together productive at-bats.
Yeah, and that's the second best thing that you can do against a guy like Smith.
As Schobel's going to flare one shallow right. It's going to fall in for a base hit in front of the right fielder, Schreck. It just got over the outstretched glove of Ryan Ritter, and the Braves have a 1-out single thanks to Tanner Schobel.
Of course, that's the one thing that you do want to do. But secondly, if you're going to go against a guy like Smith, you might not be getting as many runs as you think or as you hope. So to be able to run that pitch count up and maybe see another pitcher later in the game, that's huge. Just some strategic element to the game, and Tanner Schobel proves me wrong right there and just says, I'm going to send this right over Ritter's head at second.
There's Joe Lampe, and he's first pitch swinging, trying to ambush a fastball there from Smith, but whiffs through it. Count here at 0-1. Infield, middle infield and double play depth, even at the bag at third, is Cummings as Lampe fouls that one away.
So 1 out here, and this is an opportunity for the Braves to take advantage when they're not pressed up against 2 outs. So Joe Lampe in the top of the order is exactly who I would want to advance Tanner Schobel in the bottom of the third here.
And 0-2, and Lampe check swings, did not appear to go, and they'll appeal down to the field umpire there in Tom Ryberg, who says he didn't go. Something to keep an eye on today, the Cotuit Kettleers lead the league in errors made with 20, whereas the Braves with 10 fewer at 10. Cut that in half. Smith out of the stretch, 1-2 to Lampe, and he fouls this one out of play where the kid's gloves, and a nice catch by a fan out in the little side street here at Doran Park. Good catch for the fan. Glad they're out. But the Bourne Braves have made the third fewest errors in the league. Only fewer is Orleans with 8 and Wareham with 7, but Cotuit has really struggled. And they haven't had that many total chances as Lampy punched out on strikes by Sparky Burns. Slider outside corner. Good pitch, 2 down.
Kyler Fedko taking over for Christian Knapchek, often seen at the second position in the lineup behind Joe Lampy. But Fedko has only been playing better and better with the departure of Reggie Crawford. He hits the ball so hard, and like you said, he might be a guy that we're going to lose in about a week, but he has the frame and he has all the intangibles to be a great professional player, and he's shown that here with his time at the Braves.
Get this, Daniel. The Cotuit Kettleers have had the fewest defensive chances as far as balls hit in play that they can make a play on, yet they lead the league in errors.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
There's no way around that one. And again, it comes down to communication. These guys come from all different types of programs and all different places. And when those go between first and second or short and third or maybe between infield, outfield, that's where the communication is going to bite you in the butt.
0-1 the count here to Fedko. And he's going to loft one shallow center. Out goes Brown. In comes Town. It's going to fall. It's going to get past Town. Here at third is Schobel. It was corralled quickly there by Eric Brown after it got past the sliding River Town. Schobel's going to go to third. It's going to be a bloop single for Kyler Fedko. And 2 bloops in the inning have the Braves with some 2-out magic threatening here. It's Max Anderson. Can he replicate the 2-out magic he produced in the 9th last night?
And I know it's a conservative play, but I would have loved to have seen Tanner Schobel maybe try and round that third base. Harvey Shapiro had other plans, but I don't think Town necessarily secured it yet in center field when Tanner Schobel was coming closer to third. But nevertheless, a great piece of hitting again from Fedko. It's another example that he has really found his spot in the top of this order.
I think that's Harvey Shapiro just really saying how much trust he has in Max Anderson at the plate here to get this run in regardless of there being 2 outs. The Braves have 4 hits early on, so they're getting to Jake Smith. First pitch to Anderson is a slider that misses inside.
Tanner Schobel is speedy there, so Jake Smith has to be careful of getting one behind Donlin with a wild pitch or a pass ball.
1-0 to Anderson. Fedko leads at first, and he's going to ground it over to short, and Eric Brown gobbles it up and tosses over to Ryan Ritter for the force out. So the Braves leave runners at the corners with 2 down. Anderson bounces out to short, and we head to the 4th from Doran Park, and all knotted up here at 0 early on. Reeves Jackson, Daniel Coates, happy to be back with you from a packed Bourne Park. All the fans enjoying the beautiful weather tonight. The sun is out, blue skies above. For the first time in a while, Daniel, it seems like we have a great day for baseball. It's been a rough last 5 to 6 days. Actually, I think longer than that.
I'd say just about
a week. Yeah, probably right at 7 days. Today is Monday, July 5th. We hope you had an excellent and enjoyable July 4th holiday weekend that maybe continued in today if you had work off, as many people did. 2-0 count to the leadoff hitter in Cole Cummings. 9 up, 9 down the first time through the order for Zwack.
Cole Cummings played at the University of New Mexico in his first year, and then Pima Community College in his second year, transferring to UC Santa Barbara. But he'll start things off at the one position. He was .341 average, 79 hits in 61 games played this past season.
2-1 and bounce right back to Zwack. How many of those has he had today, and how many of those has Tanner Schobel saved? Across to his left, a fine running play for the first out.
How about Tanner Schobel just on his toes at every point in this defensive stand by the Braves? Nick Zwack has been getting peppered there on the hill.
If I had a quarter for every time Nick Zwack has tried to field a ground ball backhanded no look today, I think I'd be a rich man.
Well, after this snag that was a line drive right back at Graceffo, he must be laughing out there somewhere. I should say he's gone. But Graceffo had one that was a laser right back at him last night in his start. But Nick Zwack getting peppered even more here.
Yeah, he sure is. As that first pitch fouled off here from Luke Gold. As I mentioned now, Luke Gold, after striking out looking in his first at bat, Daniel, 0 for his last 11. So trying to get back on track offensively is Gold as he pops this one up. This looking to get out of play and does to the right side. Just beyond the turtle the Braves used for batting practice, although today they did not. Why, you may ask? It's a nice day. Obviously, a bunch of rain, and most teams did take batting practice around the Cape Lake today, but the Braves field, sometimes known as Lake Doran, does not exactly hold water as well as some other fields here, so infield dirt was a little too wet for BP as they had to work it out to get the field game ready. Two-strike pitch misses inside. A zero's on the board through the first 3 for both teams, although the Braves have 4 hits.
Luke Gold was first team All-ACC coming from the BC Eagles program, which says a lot. He was .316 for the Eagles, 9 homers and 45 RBIs in the past season. He was one of the stars. You saw him in Mike Gambino's top of the order there at the brand new Harrington Athletics Village in Chestnut Hill. Brighton, I should say, Brighton, Massachusetts.
1-2. Chopped foul over the Bat Boys, who take cover for dear life. Nice job there by Luke Gold to stay alive here in the count. As far as the Cotuit Kettleers offensively as a team, when it comes to the power stroke, they're right in the middle of the pack. Ranked 5th out of 10 teams in homers hit with 9. Bourne has 2 more at 11. Nothing compared to Orleans, the Firebirds, with 15 homers. As Luke Gold sends this one to left center. On the run is Colby Thomas, not going to be able to make one of those patented diving catches that he made last week. He'll let that one drop, and it's the first hit for the Kettleers. It's goal to board.
That was just far enough from Colby Thomas that he had no play on it. You saw him pursuing again. I almost jumped up like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the 3rd time that he does it. But Colby Thomas has just been really, really dependable out there in left field. Nothing you can do about that gapper from Luke Gold.
But when you take a look at both of these two offenses collectively going up against each other today, these are the 2 teams that lead the league in base hits. Bourne number 1 with 107 base knocks, but Cotuit right behind them with 99. But Bourne with a big-time lead as the number 3 hitter Brooks Baldwin steps in and fouls it into the mid of Colton Bender. Bourne coming into action today with 19 more hits than the team in 3rd place. Obviously, Cotuit was 8 behind, but comparing them to the Orleans Firebirds and the Whitey Red Sox with 88 compared to Bourne's 107. So that just says how dominant this offense has been, Daniel, and that doesn't even credit the pitching staff of Zwack. As you take a look out here, This is a Bourne pitching staff with a staff ERA coming into this game of 1.95, 97 innings pitched, and 21 earned runs. That's unheard of.
From yesterday's terrible, what was it, 209
Oh, my
ERA?
gosh. Just
horror.
Ugh, above 2. I can't imagine. It's unreal. It's unbelievable.
What I'm impressed by is as Nick Zawak also battles back when he's down in the count, when he throws maybe a wayward pitch, he also does that when he puts a guy on base, a 0 ERA on the season. And right here to Baldwin, he might be wanting that pitch back that he gave Luke Gold, who sent it to left center. But here he has an opportunity to get that one back, 2 outs, and another opportunity to move into the bottom of the 4th.
0-2, skied into right, easy enough for Kyler Fedko, and he puts the grab on it. And going back to first is Luke Gold. So good recovery batter there for Zwack after the 1-out single. He's got 2 down for Andy Garriola, the always dangerous cleanup hitter from Old Dominion.
Luke Gold is the first base runner for the Cotuit Kettleers today. No one in scoring position, obviously, for the Kettleers. And Nick Zawak making it really hard to even get a piece of the bat on it. And when they do, this Braves defense, who had 4 errors, I believe, in the game against Brewster, but have been looking incredibly stout in the last couple of games.
It was actually in the game against Harwich. Yes, on Wednesday. The Braves cleaned it up the night after against the Whitecaps. First pitch inside.
All of the games are getting jumbled up in our
they
mind,
are.
especially when they're all rainy.
Yes, especially when they're all rainy, and they're all Eastern Division teams too, with Brewster and Harwich. For some reason, I don't know why. Those 2 teams remind me of each other, but I'm not sure why.
Well, not to mention we're going to be traveling to the red-hot Orleans Firebirds tomorrow.
Snap throw there from Colton Bender, and oh my, called him safe at first. Over there did our first base umpire, Mike Muchmore.
Another great name.
Another great name.
Another great umpire name here.
Some great umpire names here in this Cape League 2021, but a nice snap throw there by Colton Bender. Almost got Luke Gold napping off of the bag at first. 2-0 count. Dangerous count to one of the most dangerous hitters. And Garriola sends one deep into center. Joe Lampe on the run, looks up, and it is gone.
What
2-0 pitch.
Bomb. Joe Lampe couldn't do anything more but wait there at the fence. Garriola proves again why he is one of the best players in the 4 spot on this team. The Cotuit Kettleers take a 2-0 lead on the 8-0-2 Bourne Braves, protecting their home turf.
Number 40, RJ Schreck.
9-0-2, I should say, but really not the way you want it, especially Nick Zawak, 2 outs.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. It really does hurt. So the Cotuit Kettleers strike first. It is 2-0 here in Bourne. Braves bats, though, with 4 hits. Well, you know they'll battle back. You know how resilient they are. Nick Zawak with really, well, I should say, not really. That run was actually unearned at Cotuit. Those are the first runs that Nick Zawak has given up on the season as far as earned runs. So his ERA touched up, not 0 anymore, although he has been still so impressive on the season. 1-1 count here to the 5-hole hitter, RJ Schreck. And Andy Garriola, boy, does he have a bright future ahead of him. 72 RBIs was time for the lead in the NCAA. 75 hits in 59 games. He blasted 14 homers for the Conference USA Old Dominion Monarchs. Hit .318 and didn't know if that ball had quite enough to get out off the bat, but as soon as Joe Lampe kept retreating, I saw that trajectory and it cleared the fence by a few feet. 2-1, this one popped up. Anderson going over, will not have a play. That one spits foul into the fans down the third base and left field line. But Zawak even on the count here, 2-2.
Zawak needs to battle back here. And the Braves offensively need to get some sort of rhythm, because if Cotuit is going to have the firepower that Garriola just showed, we might be in for a long night, especially with Zawak, our ace now with Graceffo gone. Got to imagine the bullpen might be heating up soon enough.
2-2 fouled off. Zawak still with a very low pitch count, just the first trouble he has ran into after retiring the first 9 hitters. I'm sure Coach Harvey Shapiro wants to get at least 5, potentially 6 out of him, just depending on how low that pitch count can stay. got a chance to battle out of it here against Shrek 2-2. That changeup dives low in the dirt, and Zwack working with a full count. After a homer, you definitely do not want to put the next batter on via a base on ball, so Zwack looking to avoid doing that. Full count pitch upcoming. And that one is sprayed foul down the first base line.
A huge, huge battle here for Nick Zwack. To get this guy would be massive just as far as confidence goes, especially after giving a 2-run shot to left center, one of the deepest parts of this field here at Bourne Park. It has to be deflating after pretty much taking care of the first 9 batters.
He swings and misses and strikes out. Nice pitch from Nick Zwack right there. As Zwack gets out of the top of the 4th after surrendering a 2-run homer to Andy Garriola. And the Cotuit Kettleers strike first here at Bourne Park. But obviously, as we're going to lose Gordon Graceffo and Nick Zwack, the Braves are faced with some tough decisions, and who's going to step up? There's got to be some big arms that are going to have to step up in the wake of the absence after they leave. But as we send things down to our own Calvin Cristoforo, Calvin, in the wake of those 2 pitchers leaving, how does this Braves pitching staff recover, and who are some guys that you're looking forward to stepping up in their role?
Well, you know what, Reeves? I'm not sure if recover is the right word. Sure, Graceffo and Zwack have been special this year. Over 25 innings pitched, just 3 runs allowed. But though this team as a whole has a team ERA right around 2, and the guys behind him in the bullpen have been great. Talking Cotuit, Austin Parsley, Michael Sansone, Tristan Freely, the list goes on and on. So those are the guys that are going to need to step up, and if they just stay what they're doing, I don't know how big of a problem that's going to be for this team.
As we are back here at Bourne Park, great report, Calvin. That is excellent as always, and it will be interesting to see who steps up for the Braves pitching staff after these 2 Big East studs depart of the Braves. Obviously, so thankful for everything they've given us and their ability to perform. As Dalton Rushing, first pitch swinging, sends this deep into the right center field gap. That ball is going to one-hop the wall. Rushing will pull into second and put it in park there. A first pitch leadoff double. That's how you answer a 2-run homer.
Well, Reeves, I said to you at the break, we were going to have to score more than 2 runs if we wanted to win this game against the Kettleers. And Dalton Rushing starting things off with a bomb to one of the deepest parts of this field. That was a shot from the best average on the team.
As Colton Bender will step in, the 5-hole hitter. Looking to at least advance Rushing over to third, if nothing else, but with a big hole in that right side. Bender loves playing pepper with that right side of the field. First pitch fastball. Wow. Might have been a generous strike call there by Sparky Burns. That seemed to be well outside.
Yeah, and Donlin didn't even really frame it. He just kind of reached out for it, but a close call there for the first pitch.
0-1 the count as Smith gets a gift, and that pitch misses in 1-1. Colby Thomas is on deck, followed by Braylon Wimmer. The Braves bottom of the order. You mentioned this on our Tomahawk Top pregame. But we know who the guys that have been stepping up for the Braves are. It's just, can that handful at the bottom do their part and really help the Braves as Bender skies one into right field. Shrek coming in makes the catch not deep enough for Rushing to tag. And 1 down. Rushing stays at second.
Still an opportunity, and this is going to be a huge at-bat for Colby Thomas, who hasn't really found his groove in the last couple of games. An opportunity to poke one into the gap and probably send Dalton Rushing home.
We noted yesterday the Braves came into play yesterday with a .320 average on the road, and at home just hitting a hair over .240. Obviously, baseball is a game of coincidences, and can't really take much from that stat, I wouldn't say. Just the fact that they've found more success on the road, partially because a lot of the times they've been hitting at home, it's been rainy and the weather hasn't been so good. Although opening day they saw highness, but obviously on opening day you're going to get the team's best pitcher. Harvey Shapiro having a conversation here with Sparky Burns. Not sure what he's inquiring about.
Yeah, trying to figure out what he's saying to the home plate umpire, but they're going to gather just to the left of the pitching mound, and I'm not really sure what the problem is.
The only thing I could potentially think of is if any of the umpires saw Colby Thomas's bat hit the glove of Donlin, which would be catcher's interference and would award Colby Thomas first base. Is the only thing I can gather if any of the other umpires had a better angle, which I wouldn't believe they would, considering Sparky Burns is right on the plate. Outside of that, I really don't know what could be the conversation.
Well, Colby was a bit late on that, and it would be a good explanation as to why that was the case, but I don't think anything's changing here. 0-1 to Colby Thomas.
Indeed, it won't change. Harvey Shapiro talking to the third base umpire, Tom Ryberg. Don't know exactly what that's about. Maybe our own Calvin Christopher could fill us in. 0-1. Colby Thomas sends a rocket over to third, but Cummings scoops it up and fires over to Baldwin. 2 down, and Dalton Rushing after a leadoff double is stranded at second with 2 down here for Wimmer.
Now batting, the second baseman from the University of South Carolina.
Tough break for Colby Thomas. He put a good whack on it, but it was a routine ground ball. Dalton Rushing stays at second, and Braylon Wimmer is a guy that if I had to choose a couple of guys in a clutch scenario, he does have that clutch gene, and we saw that against the Chatham Anglers. He came in, pinch hit after being on the bench the entire game and hit a flare to right center and scored with an RBI, the game-tying run.
Yeah, the Braves have done an outstanding job 2 times this season to battle back from what looked to be sure losses, and which would have been their first defeats of the season, just due to the sheer fact that their offense wasn't clicking. But a big Braylon Wimmer game-tying RBI single and a Colton Bender game-tying home run have propelled the Braves to 2 ties and have kept them defeatless with a big goose egg in the loss column. But 9 wins on the season has already seen the Braves take a commanding 5-game lead on the Cotuit Kettleers and the rest of the second-place teams in Falmouth and Wareham in the division. The Braves with 20 points. The next best, Cotuit, Wareham, and Falmouth with 10. The Braves already with a commanding lead on the entire division, but you can't get too comfortable because we know how things can always change in this league, and as soon as you potentially catch yourself in a slide, teams could be looking to be 2 games, potentially 1-2 games back. So Braves got to keep up their hot play. 2-1 breaking ball misses inside. It's 3-1 to Wimmer.
Wimmer's dealt with a couple of those inside pitches right there. I thought the pitch just before that one actually hit him in the hand, but he has a hitter's count here. Dalton Rushing at second, who's sneaky quick. We've seen him behind the dish defensively at points.
3-1 breaking ball misses in the exact same area. Sparky Burns consistent behind the plate, and Braylon Wimmer aboard. And Joshua Moylan stepping up with a big opportunity with 2 down early on.
Again, another defining at-bat here for Joshua Moylan. If he knocks in a couple here, all the woes at the plate in some way disappear.
But as much pressure as we put on that, Moylan can't put that pressure on himself. He's got to relax and think to himself, it's just another at-bat. It's the same thing. He's got to be thinking. It's the same thing as hitting with nobody on and nobody out. Just keep the same mindset, same approach to every at-bat, although it is different. 1-0 from Smith, swings and misses at a fastball, but that's a lot easier said than done, obviously. Easy for us to say sitting up here in the booth and not being down on the field and in that batter's box. Moylan, 2024 graduate expected from East Carolina. 1-1 from Smith. And Moylan late on a fastball behind in the count 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, he's right on that. It seems he's timing it up well from Smith, but Smith just keeps sticking with what he knows. Fastball right down the middle. It has a little bit of movement on it.
1-2, fastball away.
But Moylan now facing a 2-2 count. Only 2 hits on the season, but it says something that Harvey Shapiro continuously decides to put him in. He sees potential and he sees production for Joshua Moylan in the future.
2-2 Moylan, chopper back up the middle. Eric Brown will touch second, force out, which will end the inning. So the Braves lead a pair of runners on base, including Dalton Rushing stranded at second after a leadoff first pitch double. As we head to the 5th here in Bourne, it's Cotuit 2 and the Braves nothing. Reeves Jackson and Daniel Coates back with you. Top of the 5th, Nick Zwack getting another inning here against Eric Brown, Rivertown, and Ryan Ritter. And to carry through the 5 and 6 innings, it's Daniel Coates.
Eric Brown will start things off for the Cotuit Kettleers. The Kettleers draw first blood at Doran Park against a 9-0-2 Bourne Braves that haven't often, if at all, been in a position where they have been trailing by double digits. And the only time that has happened, rain saved the day, and the Braves got out of that one with a cancellation against the Cotuit Kettleers.
Exactly. Don't see any rain coming to save the day today. But I'm all joking aside. This is a Braves team that can absolutely fight back offensively.
Most certainly. A 1-0 to Brown. Interesting stance from him. 1-1. He takes it.
The only other game with score on the board thus far, YD beating Falmouth 5-4, bottom of the 8th, a game that started early at 5 p.m. And that's also a fast-paced moving game for 9 runs combined.
1-1 chopped foul. Eric Brown hit a very deep drive into center field, right into the glove of Joe Lampe back in the second. The Kettleers lead 2-0 at Doran Park. Nick Zwack back again on the mound in the top of the 5th. Time called by the umpire. That's a home plate umpire for the game. Sparky Burns. We would have 2 Burns if it weren't for Colton Bender behind the plate, but Bender and Burns have just been quite a dynamic duo at the catching position. Foul ball, that's out of play down the right field line.
Playing the other favorite game I love to look at. Obviously, we talked about it on one of the last home broadcasts, but the run differential. And Bourne catching up to them a little bit as Orleans with their offensive firepower they've put on display lately, but still Orleans at plus 24, Bourne leading the league at plus 36. Still a 12-run.
It's astounding.
Yeah, still a 12-run favor for them.
1-2, swing and a miss, foul. Goes off the shin pads of Colton Bender, stays at 1-2. Eric Brown with a trio of foul balls to stay alive.
But to me that says 2 things. It says in the West and in the East, the 2 dogs right now are Bourne and in Orleans. Because you look at the rest of the teams, Wareham plus 3, Falmouth plus 1, Cotuit plus 1, Hyannis minus 33. YD minus 7. The entire Eastern Division a minus run differential outside of the Firebirds.
Breaking ball outside. Just misses the corner. And the shortstop, Brown, still in the batter's box. On deck will be Rivertown. He grounded to Tanner Schobel, and then Ryan Ritter in the hole, who struck out looking in the third, I should say. Flare to right field. Kyler Fedko right underneath it. A routine fly ball to the Yukon Husky. Out number 1 for Nick Zwack. Here comes Rivertown. He grounded right back up between the legs of Nick Zwack and Tanner Schobel, cutting across the infield and gunning it over to Joshua Moylan. He's had a few of those, and good to see Schobel back in the lineup as well as back in that shortstop middle infield position that Harvey Shapiro loves to put him in.
Yeah, Schobel with already 3 chances today, and all 3 have been almost identical, as it seems.
Way to start things off for Nick Zwack.
But for Zwack, it's something he's been doing through the first 2 outings on the year. It's something he did at Xavier all season long. 44 strikes, 18 balls so far.
Another strike there, 0-2. And Reeves, just to go back to your point, these Bourne Brave pitchers know how to hit the strike zone, and that is shown in the ratios between walks and strikeouts in their college careers that we see with them coming in here. 0-2 flared foul over the snack shack here at Doran Park. 0-2, 1 out, Nick Zwack dealing from the windup with no base runners.
I'll have to go down and get me a hot dog a little later. Maybe between innings.
Fitting for the day after the 4th of July. 1-2, 1-2. Fastball well outside to Rivertown. He grounded to Tanner Schobel. Ryan Ritter on deck. Matt Donlin in the hole to the top of the order. After that, we would go.
Daniel, we talked about it a bit yesterday. Outside of hot dogs, what's your other favorite 4th of July food? Hamburger? Cheeseburger?
I got to say hamburger. I love love watermelon in the summer. That's a weak ground ball that's going to be fouled to Max Anderson. I love a refreshing cut of watermelon.
Oh, my gosh. That's one of the best 4th of July foods just in general as far as snacks or anything that goes along with it. But, yeah, nothing beats hot dog,
if
cheeseburger, watermelon. I know the classic is always the classic Lay's potato chips.
Yeah,
I know
that's
you
my
like
thing.
That's your thing.
That's my thing.
I'll go barbecue chips. That's my thing on the 4th.
That's fair. Be different.
Fair. Okay.
Be your own person.
Thank you.
The 1-2 to Rivertown. The windup. Swing and a miss. Zwack dealing in the top of the 5th. Throwing strikes back to what he does. One of the big East pitchers on this Braves roster. Graceffo leaving town today after his impressive start in getting the win against the Wareham Gatemen yesterday on the road. 2 outs, top of the 5th, 2-0 the Kettleers lead. Ryan Ritter, hard ground ball to Tanner Schobel. He's got it, and so does Joshua Moylan. Tanner Schobel proving why he should stay at that shortstop position for the Bourne Braves. A 2-0 lead for the Kettleers, and the Bourne Braves have some business in the at-home plate, and they're going to do it right after this in just a few moments. We will see the 9, 1, 2, and 3 hitters in that order here in the bottom of the 5th. The Braves have some work to do, down 2 on their home turf, and Tanner Schobel will be the leadoff hitter in this bottom of the 5th inning.
I like the confidence. We're not going to go 1, 2, 3, Daniel. I like the confidence.
I have faith in our guys. Takes that first pitch. Smith still on the mound, so impressive stuff from the Miami Hurricane.
Yeah, he's looked excellent here early on.
2 balls in a row. Smith now, like Zwack, appearing in the 5th inning. And there is action in both bullpens at the moment. First strike to Tanner Schobel. 2-1 with the top of the order, Joe Lampe on deck. Tanner Schobel, the Virginia Tech Hokie, an ACC battle between batter and pitcher, flared foul, 2-2.
See if Schobel can continue on his hot day overall. 1 for 1 at the plate. He's made a string of excellent defensive plays at short.
Hard hit right up the middle. Single for Tanner Schobel.
He sure does. Man, oh man, have a day, Tanner Schobel. Filling in at short today for Christian Knapczyk after Knapczyk had a bit of an off day yesterday. 3 strikeouts, made an error defensively at shortstop, and grounded into a double play with the bases loaded and no outs. So I think a deserved off day for Knapczyk, who has been one of the league's best hitters. But Tanner Schobel stepping in today for Christian and doing an incredible job.
Tanner Schobel in his usual 9 spot. We're at the top of the order now. Joe Lampe digging in. The lefty takes a high fastball to start things off 1-0. And like you said, Tanner Schobel and Christian Knapczyk, very similar players coming from the ACC. They're usually seen up the middle of the infield, whether it's Schobel at second or short or Knapczyk at second or short. That's up to Harvey Shapiro. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Tell you what, if Joe Lampe can just split the gap right here, the combination of speed between Schobel and Lampe,
I'll take it.
That would be fun to watch.
I will take it.
Especially with Fedko on deck. Braves need to get something going here this inning. 6 hits, but nothing to show for it.
Schobel on first. Ball 2, Schobel looks like he was taking off, but held off.
It's always unfortunate when the team you're facing has 2 hits, but 2 runs, and then you have 6 hits and haven't scored yet. But this is a team that is due to get on the board here soon, maybe this inning.
3-1 to Joe Lampe, the Arizona State Sun Devil. Has been a staple at the top of the lineup, really only having 1 or 2 days off this entire season, so he is someone who is so important to this Bourne Braves team. Full count now after a Smith fastball catches the inside part of the plate.
Would love to see Tanner Schobel on the move here. See Harvey Shapiro giving the signs at third. Got a speedy guy on the base paths, a guy that, knock on wood, does not strike out much at the plate. Turn those wheels in motion. I'll see Schobel on the move.
Smith not giving him much notice. Fastball inside, called. Joe Lampe disagrees, but that's 1 out for Jake Smith. Kyler Fedko looking to send Tanner Schobel to second, third, or home. He hit a hard hit line drive to left field right into the glove of Garriola. But Kyler Fedko also singled back in the 3rd inning. A single would be very nice now. We've had our fair share of hits today, but we've left a couple of men on base. And Tanner Schobel, speedy at first. Wouldn't be surprised if he takes off.
Got the sun glaring in
Finally.
now. It's been behind the clouds most of the day. You see it shining on the field right now.
Foul from Fedko. He battles it off. What might have caught the zone. 0-1. But the sun really coming out here just after 7 o'clock at Doran Park. 7:17 to be exact. 2-0. The Braves are battling back.
Well, sun comes out and it gets cooler for somehow.
That's New England for you. 0-1. Foul ball right off the ankle. We saw a lot of those yesterday at Wareham against our division rivals, the Wareham Gatemen, another division rival leading here. We've seen Cotuit twice. One of them has counted. One of them was canceled due to rain.
Yeah, that was one of the cooler broadcast setups we had yesterday at Wareham. A neat spot right on top of the third base dugout, essentially. Had our own little spot, and it was obviously struggled to call balls and strikes as far as where they were located, but one of the cooler field angles we've had.
0-2 battled off foul. Kyler Fedko, 1 for 2 on the day. The Yukon Husky with another chance here against Jake Smith. On deck is Max Anderson. He's on the day. Oh, beautiful night here. Slight breeze out towards center field from home plate. 0-2, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th. High line drive. Doesn't have the distance. Going back is Town. Right towards the warning track. And just shy of the fence. Town makes the catch and gets the second out of the bottom of the 5th. That was one of the deepest parts of the field, and Kyler Fedko just comes up slightly short.
Yeah, that ball off the bat, to me, didn't seem like it was going to travel as far, but he just kept carrying and carrying and carrying. There was a breeze blowing out to center field before this game started. As you look at that flagpole now in dead center, basically no wind. Wind has died for the most part. I thought that ball honestly was going to carry out of the park for a minute.
2 outs. Schobel still on first. Max Anderson takes a ball in the dirt. 1-0. Time called by the home plate umpire, Sparky Burns, sweeping off home plate. A beautiful, beautiful night at Doran Park. We took him for granted this past week with an entirely rain-filled forecast. 1-0. Fouled right off the plate for Max Anderson. 1-1. Tanner Schobel still at first. 5 innings pitched for Jake Smith. 45 strikes and 32 balls. He's really changed it up. The Braves lead in the hit column, but not in the run column. They're down by 2 runs. 1-1. Chopper right towards Brown. He scoops it up and gets Tanner Schobel at second with the force out. And the Braves, again, leave a base runner on base. We will go to the latter half of this game and the top of the 6th inning. We do not know if we're going to see Nick Zawak, but we will see the Bourne Braves defense right after this. Cole Chidoba with the baby blue glove warming up. The Assumption product transferring to UConn again, another Big East player out here at Doran Park. And we've seen him a few times this season, Reeves. He's going to be huge in the vacancy of Gordon Graceffo as well as Nick Zawak. We might have seen the last of Nick Zawak here in the last of the Big East powerhouses, but Chidoba could prove again to be filling that vacancy.
Well, you got 2 Big East powerhouses going away, but you got a Big East powerhouse who potentially could step up in a big way in Chidoba. So Calvin asked me who's a pitcher I think that could step up. I think Chidoba's going to be able to start some games for the Braves here in the absence of Zawak and Graceffo. I think Chidoba could be, I mean, he's going to be used out of the bullpen there, but there's some pitchers that I think will end up getting starting roles. I think Chidoba's a guy. I think Parsley's another guy. Chidoba's been excellent on the year. As on the year, Daniel, 1-0, has not allowed an earned run, 6 strikeouts over 4 innings. His first outing was at Falmouth, 3 excellent innings, allowed 1 hit, struck out 4, and then in the tie to Chatham, 1 inning, no hits, 2 strikeouts.
Hard hit foul ball, quickly 0-2. Like you said, Chidoba, just an effective reliever. We might want to see him move towards that starting role, especially with the vacancies of Gordon Graceffo and Nick Zawak. Hard to miss with that baby blue glove.
Yeah, I know who it is coming from a mile away.
Swing and a miss. The Donlin 9-spot hitter goes down swinging 1 out, and Chidoba off to a hot start. The Kettleers, though, still have a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, one of Chidoba's best pitches, it's probably his go-to secondary pitch. It's that changeup. It falls off the table, kind of like Sansone from the left side. To a right, it'll fall off the table going away from them. For Chidoba with the righty at the plate, just like that one, it'll fall off the table and bite you in on the hands like it did Donlin there.
Swing and a miss from Cole Cummings. He's 0 for 2 on the day, grounded right back to Nick Zawak in the first inning with that impressive glove flip over to Joshua Moylan, and he also grounded out to Schobel in the 4th inning, swing and a miss 0-2. Chidoba making quick work of his at-bats.
That changeup is unbelievable. I would love to. Calvin was talking about Michael Sansone's changeup in the bullpen. I want Calvin to go down and tell me how Cole Chidoba's looks one day.
0-2 it remains. Foul ball right on top of Cape Cod Upper Tech in Bourne, Massachusetts. It's funny, behind us is completely sunny. In front of us, it looks like it's going to pour. There's no rain on the radar, but you always get funky weather here. Tanner Schobel, again, 2 ground outs from Cummings to Tanner Schobel. He takes care of them both. 2 outs.
Yeah, good start for Chidoba, who's been nothing short of excellent so far out of relief for Bourne, but we looked at the probables back on Friday night before our game Saturday was rained out at home against Wareham, and Cole Chidoba was actually listed as the starter on Sunday. Their plan was to start Graceffo versus Wareham Saturday, and then Chidoba Sunday before turning to Zwack today. So obviously with that game getting pushed back to Sunday, Chidoba's start gets skipped. So they use him out of the pen, but look for Chidoba to start here very soon, potentially at the end of this week.
Luke Gold sends a fly ball Kyler Fedko's way. It should be the end of the inning, and it is. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Cole Chidoba makes quick work of the Cotuit Kettleers. The Braves still have work to do at the plate. We have arrived at the bottom of the 6th, and a new pitcher has arrived at the mound for the Cotuit Kettleers.
Yeah, it's the right-hander, number 32, Zachary Fruit. And although the Bourne Braves had 6 hits against Jake Smith, I think they'll be happy to see him depart, because although they had 6 hits, they were unable to get any of those runs across, as they have struggled to do at home and of late. But Fruit, as I mentioned, from Dundee, Michigan, by way of EMU, has appeared in 1 game. That was yesterday, so making an appearance in back-to-back games on July 4th yesterday. No innings, allowed 1 hit, so promptly faced 1 batter and was pulled. So obviously a pitch count not high at all, and back out there today.
First pitch breaking ball, strike 1 on the outside corner. Dalton rushing with a right center gapper double back in the 4th. He starts things off here. 1-1. Fruit dealing with the right hand. This is crunch time now for the Braves if they hope to stay undefeated.
Yeah, Fruit 6'4", 208-pounder.
So 2 balls in a row in the dirt. 2-1 on deck is Colton Bender, as hot as any catcher on the Cape.
Yeah, you can say that again. He sure has been.
The delivery from Fruit. Another one that's low, 3-1. So rushing, a couple options here. He could go after it. He is one of the hottest batters in the Cape League. You said 4th with average. He has been huge for the Braves. Hard hit line drive, diving play from Baldwin. He flips it over to Fruit. Does he have him? He does. Dalton rushing, bang, bang play at first. What a play from Baldwin over there at first base. And the Cotuit Kettleers get the first out the hard way in the bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, I think that was a good call by the first base umpire, Mike Muchmore. I think he did get rushing by half a step. Might have been a tie, but first base umpire saw the pitcher's foot of Fruit, got to the bag before rushing, but what an incredible diving snag there by Brooks Baldwin, who has been all around for the Kettleers. He's been in left, he's been at third, now he's at first. Not your prototypical first baseman as far as you look at his size over there, but he can snag it with a glove. You can tell he plays left and third with that diving stop right there.
Impressive length and agility over there from Baldwin. Colton Bender, 1-1. Looks at both of them. One out, bottom of the sixth. Colby Thomas with the recognizable red bat on deck behind Colton Bender. Swing and a miss off a slider from Fruit. Colton Bender, 9 for 22. Coming into this game, 409 average, 6 RBIs. Impressive stuff when you consider that him and Peter Burns switch off almost every other game.
Absolutely. Tough to get in a rhythm as a hitter when you're not starting consistently, but these two catchers have been the ringing word of consistency and what they've meant to the team both defensively and offensively. They're the heart and soul and what makes this team run. Both of them.
2-2 turns to 3-2. Breaking ball misses just before the plate. And Colton Bender with an opportunity to get a base runner on for the Braves, who desperately need an opportunity. This one is going to the wire thanks to a Garriola home run out by the flagpole in one of the deepest parts here at Doran Field. Doran Park, I should say. Swing and a miss off a 3-2 payoff pitch. Fruit gets Colton Bender down hacking, and Colby Thomas comes up with 2 outs.
Just a great job by these Kettleers pitchers to suppress these Bourne Braves bats today, especially when they've been able to get runners on in scoring position. Jake Smith did an excellent job making sure none of those runners came across. The Braves have 6 hits, Cotuit just 2. One of those, the 2-run homer, though.
Foul ball to start things off. Colby Thomas eager and on top of that one, but doesn't connect in the right way. 0-1, 2 outs, bottom of the sixth. Chidoba was impressive for the Braves on the hill. We might be seeing him soon. 1-1. On deck is Braylon Wimmer. Second base today, often seen in the outfield at left. 1-1. Swing and a miss off a breaking ball, dropping off the table. Colby Thomas 0 for 2 today. He popped up to short in the second and grounded to third in the fourth. High fly ball. Looks like the short Brown is going to field it, and he does. That's going to do it for the bottom of the sixth. Another lackluster offensive performance from the Bourne Braves. They need to hold stout on defense as we're going towards the end of this game. 2-0, the Cotuit Kettleers are on the road leading at Doran Park. quick game in Bourne, Massachusetts, 2-0. The Kettleers of the Western Division are leading. And Reeves, we're going to send it over to you. Still trying to find our rhythm offensively. Chidoba will remain on the mound, but just need to figure out some way to get a couple of hits strung together.
Yeah, hopefully the bottom of the 7th can be the Braves inning. They're very known to be a comeback team when they're down, and especially late in the game, which is they've done a few times this year. Chidoba's first pitch to Brooks Baldwin after that incredible play at first. And now tracking it down deep in the left field corner. A nice running catch by Colby Thomas. That ball had some extra carry to it. Nice catch by Colby.
No time to spare from Colby Thomas. He went a far way to get that one on the warning track. Again, another example of why he's so effective in left. A lot of changes defensively with the arrivals of Max Anderson as well as Caden Wallace. As I was mentioning, Braylon Wimmer at second. Colby Thomas back in his normal position at left, but sometimes we see Fedco, or oftentimes we see Fedco at right. Sometimes we see Caden Wallace. Joe Lampe usually holding down the center field position.
The lone guy to put runs on the board today and give the Braves the deficit they are facing in the batter's box. Andy Garriola with a 2-run shot into center. Check swing, did he go? And much more. Waves the arm safe, saying that Garriola held up. But Andy Garriola picking up right where he left off, and he is a Brave killer. 2 homers against Bourne this season. And chops this one.
Yeah, and his 2 home runs were the only 2 home runs he has. His 2 home runs, I should say, against the Braves are the only 2 home runs that he has this entire season. So he really has the number of the Braves team, and he smashed that one towards center field.
2-1 Chidoba behind at the count. Has to be careful. It was a 2-0 count that Garriola hit the homer on. And grounds this one over to third. Max Anderson under the glove of Anderson. It'll be an E5 as Garriola reaches on base with a 1-out error. It's the Braves defense, though, that since that 4-error game against Harwich, they've been excellent defensively. Just a little mishap by Anderson. I'm going to score that a base hit, which I don't agree with, but
that would be to Garriola's delight. I think Anderson just got a bit lackadaisical there at third, came up on it as it was going over the lip of the grass. Not the way you want to start off this inning.
Fastball misses down and in. 1 ball, no strike. So for now, it's scored a hit. Obviously, that can change at any point. I'm sure Anderson will tell you 10 times out of 10 he'll have that ball. So Garriola on at first. As R.J. Schreck steps into the left-handed batter's box and chops this one to first. There's Moylan throwing over to Schobel, who makes a nice pick at the bag at second. They're able to take care of Garriola, the lead runner. A nice play there by Josh Moylan.
A nice play, a risky play by Joshua Moylan.
Absolutely.
He could have had him easily at first, but it pays off. It was high risk, high reward. He could have just gotten the man at first by tapping on the bag, but he got the lead runner and keeps the Kettleers out of scoring position.
And a nice pick over there by Tanner Schobel at the second base bag, playing shortstop today. So a runner on first after the fielder's choice for Schreck, and in the box is Eric Brown. Fastball catches the outer half. Brown didn't like the call, but that's been a consistent spot that Burns has called behind the plate all game. I'm sure Colton Bender is standing there like, hey man, you called it on me.
Most certainly. You have 1 strike here. 2 outs, need to get out of this inning quickly. Again, this is a team that builds off of each other's momentum, whether that's defense transitioning to offense or offense transitioning to defense, but really need some sort of spark, whatever way they can get it for the Braves here. And Chidoba's doing a good job thus far. The 1-1 count here to Brown.
That 1-1 misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I should say 2 balls and 1 strike, pardon me. Chidoba behind in the count after 2 off-speed pitches have missed away.
Coastal Carolina product, 2021, 294 average, 38 RBIs. Eric Brown has been featured in this lineup time in and time again.
This one is skied into center, sending Joe Lampe back. Lampe camps under it and makes the catch to end the inning. Nice job there by Cole Chidoba, as the Braves will look to battle here in the bottom of the 7th and put some runs on the board. This is a Braves team that has obviously struggled at home for whatever reason, but looking to get to the pitching staff of Cotuit and Fruit here in the bottom of the 7th. But Calvin, how are they going to be able, easy for me to talk, how are they going to be able to score runs and push across guys when they've been struggling to hit at home?
Sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines. Visit MiltonCat.com.
You know what, guys? I don't know. We've talked about this question before, and I don't have the special answers for you, but when you look at the numbers on paper, they're really eye-popping. The Braves are hitting more than 80 points better on the road than they are at home. You know, when it comes to stranding runners on base, I don't know, maybe just try to put the ball in play more. Focus on getting one guy in with the runner in scoring position more than 2 or 3. But the Braves really need to string some hits together if they want to come back in this game. You look at the scoreboard, out-hitting Cotuit 6-3, but still nothing on the scoreboard to show for it. So try to string some hits together, and don't be too aggressive when you're up in a big situation.
Calvin, great report here. Back up in the booth, Reeves Jackson, joined by my broadcast partner, Daniel Coates. And I think that's a good message, Calvin. Obviously, they're going to have to find ways to scratch across runs, but here, the 7, 8, 9 guys coming up, Daniel, you've always spoke to this, but how can the bottom of the order step up here and produce?
I think they need to be aggressive and not necessarily working the count. There's not a lot of time left. You really got to go after these pitches. You got to go after this pitcher. I'm looking for the home run ball here. We haven't been able to string together a lot of hits. We are still winning in the hit column 6-3, but I think a deep ball is really going to be the recipe for a victory here for the Braves. And, you know, we saw this pitcher for 1 inning. Maybe we can jump on him in the next.
Maybe a little bloop and a blast. Moylan gets aboard, and I should say Wimmer gets aboard, and then Moylan hits his first homer of the season.
Hey, I'd love that. I would absolutely love that.
Would be nice. Fruit still in the game here, working his 2nd inning. 2-0 Cotuit, as we are stretching here in the 7th, looking to wake the bats up and get some runs on the board, as it is 7:42 Eastern Time, a game that is moving quite fastly along. 1 hour and 42 minutes thus far. 2-0 here from Fruit, and Wimmer's going to take a fastball, top of the zone, 2-1. Wimmer today is 1 for 1. He singled and walked. He's been on base both times. Put together 2 nice at-bats and putting together a third here, and watches that fastball upstairs. A leadoff walk would sure do the trick to get a guy on base.
What excites me about this inning is everyone, this 7, 8, 9 lineup that we have here in the bottom of the 7th has all put the bat on the ball today.
Wimmer, chopper up the middle. Brown, nice play. 360 spin, but fires a ball into the ground, and Braylon Wimmer would have had it beat anyways. It's a leadoff infield single. Almost a terrific play by Eric Brown, but nonetheless, the Braves have a leadoff runner aboard in the 7th.
And that is huge. I can't overestimate how big of a hit that is for Braylon Wimmer, just to start things off with a base runner with no outs here. There's going to be a mound visit, looks like from Roberts, but that is so, so crucial if the Braves want a chance to knot it up or take the lead in the bottom of the 7th.
Mike Roberts out to visit Zachary Fruit. And I believe we are going to have a pitching change. We will indeed. Mike Roberts makes the call to the bullpen. We'll tell you about the new Cotuit pitcher when we come back from Dorn Park. Reeves Jackson, Daniel Coates back with you here from Doran Park. The new right-hander, a man from down under, side armor. And he has been quite effective on the year. Daniel introduces here to the submariner, Alaska Abney.
Yeah, throwing from the sidearm submarine position. A bit of a change-up for the Braves. They haven't seen this the entire season, but from Gainesville, Georgia, he's appeared in 4 games for the Cotuit Kettleers. The most he's pitched was 3 innings. That was in the loss to Brewster for the Kettleers, 0-2. But, you know, he really shuts down base runners with an on-base percentage that is at the highest in the game against Falmouth, 250 average. Underneath that for the rest of his 4 appearances. But Joshua Moylan has a chance here with no outs, a 2-0 deficit, and a bottom of the 7th with Braylon Wimmer on first to make some noise.
Moylan steps in out of the left-handed batter's box, and Abney with the check. First, you mentioned that game against Brewster. 3 innings for Abney. It did not allow a run, allowed just 1 hit, struck out 4. On the season, has struck out 9 hitters in 6 1/3 innings, already making his 5th appearance for the Kettleers. As that pitch called at the very top of the zone. No complaints there from Moylan, although some of the fans grumble as it might have been a little high. Has given up 1 earned run. That was yesterday at Falmouth. 1 2/3, 2 hits, and 1 run. So this is not a guy that can't be touched up if you get to him. He's just tough to hit. He's got that arm slot that is so rare nowadays, especially as you get into the era of baseball that we're in now, and the hard throwers is rare to see. Obviously, you have guys in the big leagues like Darren O'Day, and you had Brad Ziegler, but just not Peter Moylan at one point for the Braves, but just guys that it's a slowing breed in Major League Baseball. Good to see Abney do it effectively. 1-1 slider outside.
I'll tell you what, maybe it's just the release from his sidearm pitch, but I haven't seen this type of movement off of even just a fastball in quite some time from this position that we are in our broadcasting deck. But Abney is throwing a ball that is moving all over the place.
2-1 to Moylan, and that is outside. All of a sudden, Josh Moylan has found himself ahead of 3 balls and 1 strike. As far as walks have gone, Abney has walked 1 hitter in 3 of his 4 appearances this season. The only outing he did not issue a walk was the only outing where he did not go 1 full inning. It was 2/3 on opening day against the Gatemen. 3-1 here to Moylan. Moylan spoils that pitch into the net on a pitch might have been ball 4. But regardless, count goes full to 3-2. On board is Wimmer. And Matt Donlan's going to go have a conversation about what they want to do and how they want to attack Moylan on the payoff pitch upcoming.
Moylan's made contact in every at-bat he's had today. He flew out to left in the 3rd, and in the 4th, he grounded too short as they got, I believe, Schobel at second. But it's going to be a really interesting pitch here. This is a defining moment in this game.
3-2. It's a Moylan. That's called strike 3. Great pitch from Abney. 1 down.
Great pitch from Abney. Coming from right to left on his inside. Here comes Tanner Schobel. He's 2 for 2 today. But they need to move Braylon Wimmer from first to second if they want any chance. Joe Lampe on deck. We should see him. I'm not going to say it, pending a you-know-what up the middle, because the last time I said it, the Braves grounded into a double play. But Joe Lampe will be on deck. It needs some production here from the bottom and the top of the order if we want any chance in this game.
Schobel at bat, and Wimmer taking a big lead off of first, and continuing to check on him there is Abney. First pitch here to Schobel. Wimmer leads off first. Now a snap through from Donlan. Braylon Wimmer doing a nice job with that long, lanky body to continue to dive back into first.
Tell you what, Wimmer is showing that he has a lot of speed and agility. He's keeping the defense busy, even with just one base runner on.
No balls and a strike on a called strike there. Nice pitch there from Abney's ahead of Schobel. And Schobel swings and whiffs through a gorgeous slider that just appears to have even more movement than a slider that comes from over the top.
Yeah, down early. Schobel 2 for 2 today, improving on that .315 average he came into the game with.
0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 3 pitches takes care of Tanner Schobel. His 2 for 2 day runs into 2 for 3, and Joe Lampe will try to give the Braves a spark here at the top. Runner on first. And 2 down. That's the story of the game today for the Braves offensively. They've been getting leadoff runners on all over the place in all sorts of innings today. But after that, nothing to show for it.
Their production takes a dive when there's a man on base. When the pressure's there, they can't really produce. And they've been able to do that all year. It has been somewhat of a lingering problem, but it's been dulled by the victorious results that we've gotten. But it is a real problem here today. We've left a situation with men on first and third. In every other inning, it seems like we're leaving men stranded on the base path.
I'm sure other teams are on the league scoreboard checking out this game, and as we get near to head to the top of the 8th inning, I'm sure these people are saying, the Braves are losing? Potentially going into the 8th, unless Lampe has anything to say for it. Wimmer fakes the move to second. A pitch called on the outer half. Joe Lampe asking where exactly it was. But unfamiliar territory for us.
0 for 3 on the day. Would love to see Lampe make some sort of contact with this, give us a chance. Wimmer's going.
Wimmer on the move, and Lampe swinging. Appeared to be a hit and run there from Harvey Shapiro on the 1-strike pitch, and count will go to 1-2. Wimmer had a great jump, had that pitch been taken, had second base stolen by a mile.
I was just going to say, I think we kind of sell him short just because he has that big frame that maybe he's not as fast, but he got to second base so quick. I took one look at the foul ball by Joe Lampe, and all of a sudden, Braylon Wimmer's standing at second. That game clock is quick.
1-2 here to Lampe. And he swings and misses, strike 3. Alaska Abney out of the bullpen. Absolutely impressive. He strikes out the side, and Moylan, Schobel, and Lampe after the leadoff single by Wimmer. We head to the 8th from Doran Park. Reeves Jackson and Daniel Coates here with the Braves trailing 2-0 to division rival Cotuit.
From Dallas Baptist University, number 14, River Town.
Reeves Jackson here, joined in the booth by Nick Galley in the top of the 8th inning, where the Braves trail 2-0. Nick, this is unfamiliar territory here for all of us.
This is maybe bringing me on with my luck. Might like spin things around.
Yeah,
today. I
like
don't know.
A little reverse jinx. Yeah,
but no, this is a bad game right now, especially offensively. The pitching has been fine. I mean, you give up 2 runs through, what are we, top 8 now? You give up 2 runs through 7 innings.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should be able to win a baseball
absolutely,
game.
100%.
I mean, that's a quality start right there.
We've seen it time and time again at home especially. I don't know what it is exactly.
I
don't know what it is, but the offense struggling to hit here at Doran Park, which is usually the exact opposite. Rope to Wimmer. What a play on the backhand. And then fires over to Joshua Moylan. Nice play to get the leadoff hitter, Rivertown, 1 down.
You know, I have a lot of answers. Like, usually I can answer things pretty well, you know, when I come on the broadcast.
Absolutely.
For the most part. But tonight I just have no answer for this offense. I mean, this is just...
It's a bit of an unknown that is obviously, in most likelihood, coincidental, as baseball is full of those reasons that we don't know why. We don't know why that they hit so well at home. It could just be the fact that they're running to better pitching at home.
It could be.
I mean, it just simply could be as simple as that.
They have 7 hits.
They do.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I was telling Daniel last half inning, as soon as they got the leadoff hitter Wimmer on, as Ritter fouls that bunt off 0-2. But countless times have the Braves gotten the leadoff hitter on today and have had nothing to show for it.
Exactly. I mean, it's just, you get 7 hits. They've been so scattered. And the thing is, they just can't string anything together. You have the Dalton rushing double, earlier on in this game. What inning was that? Let me see here.
That was in the 4th.
The 4th. The Dalton rushing double in the 4th. No outs. That's prime territory to do something.
Didn't even advance him to 3rd?
No. You have Bender comes up, fly out to right. Colby Thomas, third base to first, grounds out to 3rd. Wimmer walk, you have 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. And then Moylan obviously grounds 1 to short, tag second base, and you're out of the inning. And it's stuff like that. I think the thing is, you go down 2-0, you think you got to get it all back on 1 inning.
You don't have to.
They went down 2-0 in the 4th. You get 1 run in the bottom of the 4th, you're set.
Absolutely.
And that should have been the mindset they had. I don't know if they did have that mindset, though.
2-2, and might have been a cross-up there. Maybe not. I'm not sure if that ball hit the dirt or not first. Regardless, count runs full.
There's a lot of people here.
A lot of people. This was
some Monday night.
Some people have scattered out, actually, too. This was
really?
A crowd, Nick, that was maybe add a few more people into that mix. It was a busy crowd. 3-2. Wow.
Oh, man.
I've seen that pitch tonight called to Colton Bender a strike a few times. But regardless, it's outside ball 4, and taking his base is Ryan Ritter.
I'm not one to jump on umpires or referees.
Usually not either.
But this has been an inconsistent strike zone tonight.
Has been.
I mean, the strike zone, it looks like the state of Oklahoma. I said that in the press box earlier. But some stuff's getting called outside. Some is not. There's been a lot of calls not going Bourne's way. Obviously. I don't know. I mean, it's easy to say that from our side of things, but.
Here's a bunt attempt. Beautiful bunt there by Donlin. Bender!
My goodness.
Pops out from the squat, down the 3rd baseline, picks it up, and with no regard for his body, fires a strike over to Moylan. Gets Donlin. Ritter over to 2nd, and they're 2 down.
I mean, that is worthy of a tweet, I must say.
Get on it, Mr.
We're live tweet now. I haven't had much to live tweet tonight, so.
But back to that point, Tanner Schobel led off the 5th with a single. Lampy struck out, Fedko flat out, Anderson grounded out. And then last half inning, Wimmer led off with a single. Obviously, Alaska Abney. That dude's the real deal. He just.
What a name.
Came in. Yeah, what a name from Gainesville, Georgia.
Oh, he's a Georgia kid.
He's a Georgia
I'm sure
kid.
You were just absolutely loving it out here. Just couldn't stop talking about the kid.
Actually, you can ask Daniel behind us. Did I mention he was from Georgia once, Daniel?
No reaction? Yeah, of course you did.
Unbelievable.
But you were just oozing over Alaska, your Georgia, your fellow Georgian?
Georgian. Yeah, it's spelled Georgian, but you say Georgian.
All right, my bad.
What do you? What's a Massachusetts person called? I know Boston people are Bostonians.
A Bostonian?
Yeah, but what's the state of Mass?
I don't even know.
Massachusetts.
Massachusettsan?
Massachusettsian.
I don't even know, to be honest with you.
It's worth a Google.
I just say a Massachusetts native.
Okay, that's easy enough. It's probably less words than
the
other word would be. 2-0 count here. Big lead at 2nd. And this one is lined into left center. Joe Lampy comes on, dive. Did he get it? He did. Joe Lampy saves the day for Cole Chidoba. I don't know how he tracked and got to that ball, but somehow he did. And that play could very well end up being a big play in this game, as the Braves will look to get some runs offensively as we head to the bottom of the 8th with the Kettleers leading 2-0.
Now pitching for Cotuit.
Reeves Jackson and Daniel Coates back with you. Bottom of the 8th. The Braves will potentially have 2 more chances to get runs across the board, but hopefully maybe we'll put a crooked number up there and close it out in the 9th. The new pitcher to tell you about is the right-hander from Oklahoma State out of Roswell, Georgia. It's Zachary Cable.
Yeah, and Zachary Cable will come into this game defending a 2-run lead. To start things off will be Kyler Fedko, just the guy that I would want to start things off. But I was saying to you during the break, this has to be the inning. It needs to be the inning. When you get down to those 3 outs, the pressure is so magnified. I even talked to Zach Agnos just a moment ago, who's not playing, and he said that this has to be the inning as well. He goes 6 outs are a lot of outs against a team like this. So I expect these guys to come out firing with the 2-3-4 coming up to the plate.
1-1 here from Cable, and Fedko watch that one downstairs. So getting a little chance to talk to a Bourne Brave down there, Daniel, and Agnos, one of the fun personalities that this Bourne Braves team has to offer of many. 2-1. Fedko pops it up, foul territory, out of play. 2-2. Yeah, no better part of the order to do it than now. Obviously, Fedko, Anderson rushing 2, 3, and 4. Fedko today, 1 for 3. He singled in the 3rd and has flown out twice. One deep into center, the other time was a hard hit ball to left. So 3 solid at bats for Fedko as far as how hard he's hit the ball. 2-2, changeup, swing and a miss. Strike 3, a good pitch, 1 down.
Yeah, tough way to start it off for Kyler Fedko. Max Anderson could be the catalyst here that gets things going. Any and all momentum is needed on this Bourne Braves side. Just kind of a dead night, a dead feeling in the air, but Max Anderson is electrifying at the plate, so hoping that he can liven the spirits here at Dorn Park.
First pitch, breaking ball, misses downstairs. The Braves are unable to get 3 runs across the board here. Obviously, they'll have the bottom of the 9th inning to make some last-minute noise as Anderson cuts through a slider. Angry at himself is the Cornhusker.
He's 1 for 3 on the day. He extended that first inning with his single.
And Anderson back over to 3rd. That ball hits the bag and is fair. Scoots over to the fence over there, and Max Anderson is aboard. Hey, rarely do you see that, but it pays off for the Braves.
We will take that one. That's a Doran Park roll if I've ever seen one for the Braves. And, hey, here's a guy, Dalton Rushing, who has the ability to go yard.
Yeah, this is the guy that has the ability to tie the game with one swing.
And I don't want to play coach here, but if I'm Harvey Schmidt, I'm saying we could use one of those right now.
We sure could. Bottom of the 8th inning. It is 2-0. Cotuit. And Rushing fouls the first one back to the screen.
Another guy who has the firepower and slugging gene is also Colton Bender, who's on deck.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he came up huge when we needed it. I believe that was our tie early on. That was against the Harwich Mariners.
It sure was. Rushing fouls this one back almost in an identical spot, finds himself in an 0-2 hole. Yeah, Bender, another gene he has, Daniel, is the clutch gene. That was a clutch home run to tie it up.
Well, only one out. Max Anderson on first. I think they need to take an aggressive approach on the base path here.
0-2. Fastball outside. And that misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Ooh. That was close. That's as close as it gets. Sparky Burns, the umpire behind the plate, thought it was a bit too outside for Cable.
Cable ready, 1-2. And Rushing, I believe he did offer. They appeal, and yes, the umpire in the field rings up Rushing. And Dalton goes down, 2 down here in the 8th for Colton Bender.
The soon-to-be Scarlet Knight faces 2 outs. He's done a good job behind the plate today, but we need something here. Max Anderson will stay at first, and we don't have the number just yet, but the amount of guys that we have left on base has to be through the roof today compared to all other games. No runs, which is unbelievable. It'd be the first game that we were shut out in the run column if this continues.
To my calculation, so far, we've had 8 runners left on base.
Yeah, and that's the name of the game so far.
And if the Braves are unable to get anything going, this inning would be 9 after Anderson singled with 1 down. 1-1 count here to Bender. And he grounds it over to third, right into Cummings' glove. Goes the short way to Ritter at second. So the Braves get a 1-out single, but strand Anderson over at first. The Braves will have one more opportunity in the bottom of the 9th. They're being shut out tonight here at home. It is 2-0. Back with you from Bourne Park, top of the 9th inning with the Braves trailing 2-0, although they have out-hit the Kettleers by 5, 8-3, have left 9 runners on base. That's the story of the game. It'll be Ben Etheridge to take over here in the top of the 9th. Etheridge on the year, 0-0, an ERA of 27, but don't fret, that was from one bad outing. That was the first game against Falmouth. Did not record an outlet up a 5 earned run, so obviously that's going to inflate the ERA, but a much better outing at Cotuit on June 27th. So the Kettleers have seen him before. Etheridge went 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 2 strikeouts as he finishes getting his warm-up pitches in. And Daniel, before we turn it over to you for play-by-play, just Braves have not been able to get it going offensively today when they've gotten their leadoff men on base.
Well, they've gotten hits. The problem is they haven't been strung together. You said that. 9 runs, or 9 base runners, I should say, have been left on base. That's just unacceptable for Harvey Shapiro, and you can't expect to win a game in this league leaving 9 base runners on base. To start things off, Ben Etheridge will face the designated hitter from Boston College, Luke Gold, for Cotuit, and they are leading 2-0 top of the 9th, and they're looking to buffer their lead just a bit more. Ben Etheridge from Southern Miss is on the mound to close things off. High fly ball. Colby Thomas is tracking towards the foul pole, and it goes foul. Boy, some pop off the bat from Luke Gold. I've seen it before at BC. I thought that one was heading towards the foul pole and potentially had the chance to wrap around. Colby Thomas took off from left field.
Reminded me a lot of Braylon Wimmer's home run from opening day that just curled around that foul pole and got out of town.
So a hard-earned strike 1 from for Ben Etheridge. Strike 2 after 2 foul balls.
Rattled the camera, but the camera stays strong. And we saw it fall in the game against, what was that? It was Brewster, I believe.
I believe that was Brewster. That was one of the other rainy ones that we experienced here at Bourne Park. 0-2, Etheridge from the windup. Another foul ball, 3 in a row from Luke Gold. He leads the team in home runs with 3 for the Cotuit Kettleers in maroon. Completely under the lights now at Bourne Park. The sun has set behind us. 0-2. Ground ball towards Wimmer. He scoops it and gets the out at first base. Joshua Moylan secures, and Etheridge secures the first out.
Brooks Baldwin now up to the plate. Baldwin, who had that outstanding play defensively, might have saved a big inning for the Braves. It was already, or I should say it was a leadoff man coming up to the plate when Baldwin made that diving catch, or diving stop, and then flipped it over to first to get Dalton rushing. But Baldwin at the plate today, 0 for 3, a strikeout and 2 flyouts, 1 to right, 1 to left.
1 out here. First pitch low from Etheridge. Etheridge was 6-2. In his time at Southern Miss this past season, a 3.25 ERA with 16 appearances. Flare foul towards Cape Cod Upper Tech, home of the Rams as well as your Bourne Braves, 1-1. Ben Etheridge nodded up with the count.
It's got a little bit cooler as the night's gone on, 66 degrees here tonight.
1-1. Another foul ball, so a slew of foul balls to start things off in the top of the 9th. Etheridge doing a good job thus far. And Wimmer at second base without skipping a beat, making that transition from left to second and then sometimes second back to left. Another foul ball, 1-2.
Yeah, just a good job here by Baldwin to stay alive, but also a nice job of Etheridge. He's continuing to pound the zone, throw strikes, and I think, give or take here soon, he'll be able to retire Baldwin.
Baldwin is 0 for 3 on the day. Not what you're looking for a 3-spot hitter. A 1-2 count, Etheridge from the windup. A bit too inside. Colton Bender backhands it. 2-2 on deck will be Garriola, who we saw homer in the 4th. Those are the only runs up on the board for either team. Cotuit has the 2-0 advantage in the top of the 9th. 3-2 and a payoff pitch coming up here.
Yeah, Garriola's who would have thought that home run would be the only difference of the game so far. Obviously with 11 hits to go around, but just that 2-run shot. It was a 2-0 count, and then Nick Zwack just made a mistake on a fastball inside. Garriola obviously led the entire nation in runs driven in. 14 homers for the ranked Old Dominion team.
3-2, another ground ball to Wimmer. He scoops it up and gets out number 2 at first. 2 routine plays at second base off the ground balls from the Kettleers. Wimmer responsible for those 2 outs, and Etheridge only has to face 1 more out, and that is Garriola, who has the 2 RBIs for the Cotuit Kettleers. So not done just yet, but Ben Etheridge is close to giving the Braves their last chance in the batter's box, facing a 2-0 deficit.
And when the Braves come back to the plate, they'll have Colby Thomas, Braylon Wimmer, and Josh Moylan. But I wonder, Daniel, with Colby Thomas 0 for 3, 2 pop-outs, and a ground out, I wonder if we'll see Caden Wallace start off the inning. I have a gut feeling we're going to.
I think we're going to see a pinch hitter, and that's for sure. 0-1, 2 outs, top of the 9th. 2 breaking balls and 2 swings and misses. Garriola 2 for 3 on the day. The big one was his homer, 2-run shot to left center back in the 4th. And a hit just shy of Anderson's glove a couple of innings ago. Ben Etheridge is ahead here, 2 outs, top of the 9th. 1-2 to Garriola. From the windup. Swing and a miss. The Braves will have one last chance to either knot it up or take the lead. The bottom of the 9th, we go, and it should be a good one. Stick with us. Daniel Coates alongside me, Reeves Jackson. Zachary Cable for the Kettleers is the expected closing pitcher, but we did not expect this. Christian Knapczyk pinch hitting for Colby Thomas. Braylon Wimmer on deck, but Harvey Shapiro, we've seen this before, and it paid off when Braylon Wimmer pinch hit against Chatham just last week.
And Knapczyk, only the team's leading hitter with 14 hits. Obviously had the 0 for day yesterday. 3 strikeouts, headed into a double play. I'm sure there's nobody who wants to right that ship more than the guy in the batter's box right now, ready to prove that yesterday was just a fluke. Obviously, you have off days in baseball, so just wasn't Knapczyk's day yesterday. And new day and looking to pinch hit and come up big for the Braves after an off day until now.
His off day was cut short. First pitch, check swing. 0-1. Knapczyk just didn't have it yesterday. He actually made an error, which is rare for him in the middle of the infield. 2 pitches and 2 strikes, 0-2.
A nice changeup there from Cable. And Nick Gallio and I were talking about it. Strike zone's been a little bit inconsistent today. I thought that might have been outside, but regardless, Braves hitters got to be ready to hit here.
Behind in the count. That misses outside, 1-2. So the undefeated streak in danger of coming to a screeching halt. Bottom of the 9th, the Cotuit Kettleers are up 2-0. Check swing again. I think he got him, and he did. Cable has Knapczyk check swinging twice. 1 out, bottom of the 9th. Here comes Braylon Wimmer.
Yeah, just credit the Cotuit Kettleers pitching staff today. They have been outstanding at silencing the Braves' bats all day, especially when they've gotten runners on to begin innings, and even when they have their clean innings, they've been dominant today. The Braves' bats just have not been able to get it going at home today.
Braylon Wimmer digs in, swing and a miss on the first one. On deck is Joshua Moylan, so no other change made by Harvey Shapiro other than Knapczyk pinch hitting for Colby Thomas. 0-1. A check swing foul makes contact, so the Braves coming out a bit hesitant in the batter's box.
Yeah, obviously you never want the undefeated streak to come to an end. Obviously, still some hitters left, not calling this over by any stretch of the imagination, but if it does, you got to marvel at what the Braves did. 9-0-2 to begin a season. Obviously, you never want that to come to an end against a division rival, a team that, obviously, our biggest rival in Cotuit and a divisional opponent. Allows you to gain some extra room in the standings, but with 1-2, you never know. Bloop and a blast as Zach Agnos has just grabbed a bat now is in the on-deck circle.
1-2 makes it 2-2. Breaking ball by the inside shoulder of Braylon Wimmer on deck. Looks like Zach Agnos taking over for Joshua Moylan. As we expected, a couple of different hitters now in the lineup. 2-2. Hard hit line drive. It gets over the second baseman Ritter. There's a man on base, and Braylon Wimmer rounds first and retreats. Here comes Zach Agnos. He would be the tying run at the plate now. Only one out, and Braylon Wimmer, who we saw a few innings back, he is a pest over there on the base path at first.
Wimmer today, what a day. He's reached base all 4 times, Daniel. 3 for 3 with 3 singles. So Braylon Wimmer, have a day, why don't you? Caden Wallace has just grabbed a bat and stepped into the on-deck circle.
And here we go. Harvey Shapiro, give us your worst. This is unbelievable. That would be the 3rd pinch hitter of this bottom of the 9th, and Harvey Shapiro does not want this fairy tale beginning of the season. 9-0-2 to be dropped.
Just think, in that tie, which the Braves came back against Chatham, Zach Agnos started that off with the 1-out single. So Agnos with a runner on, looking to keep up that clutch work.
How about Braylon Wimmer on the day? Chopper to first. Do they have 2? That one gets over. Zach Agnos is safe at first, but Braylon Wimmer will be down at second. 2 outs. Caden Wallace, the Arkansas Razorback, is the final hope.
Yeah, Agnos will go to second. That throw went out of play, so the Braves will have a runner in scoring position. Obviously, that run doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. You need that runner at the plate to score, but my goodness, there's no one else I'd rather have at the plate right now than Caden Wallace. I'm serious. So no one else here on this team.
A slight breeze blowing out to left center. Caden Wallace, the righty, hit one back at Cotuit in that 9-2 victory the last time we traveled to Lowell Park. That was 8 days ago. Breaking ball from Cable, misses high and outside. 1-0. Zach Agnos in scoring position. Caden Wallace would be the tying run. Joe Lampe on deck. Taking over for Joshua Moylan's spot in the lineup. Swing and a miss. It gets behind Donlin, and going to third is Zach Agnos.
Yeah, just a pass ball there by Donlin, a ball that he usually stops every single time, but gets under the leg. So a run gets a little closer, and you never know. Obviously, if Wallace singles, that'll allow Agnos to score. It'll put the tying run on base for Lampe, but all you need is a base hit. You don't need to be the hero. You don't need to be big. You don't need to hit a home run to tie it. Just get a base hit. Keep this inning alive with 2 down.
1-1 is low and inside. 2-1. Zach Agnos with a big jump there at third. A dark sky in front of us and a pink sky behind us in this quick game. 2-1. Called time by the umpire.
I think Caden wanted time there. He put that hand up. I think he just wanted to take a little breath for a minute and try to zone in here against Cable.
The 2-1, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. 3-1 after a low fastball from Cable. The Doran Park faithful have stayed by the numbers here. for this Western Division matchup. 3-1 to the Razorback. And that is ball 4, men on first and third for the Bourne Braves. This game is not over yet.
Now batting, the center fielder from Arizona State University.
Joe Lampe up to bat.
Baby.
So too is the top of the lineup.
My goodness. Joe Lampe now up to bat. Here we go. Oh, I think we're going to have a pinch hitter. We will. It's going to be Nick Goodwin here. Daniel, pinch hitting for Joe Lampe.
And Nick Goodwin, we remember him in that game at Falmouth. The first time we traveled to Gov Fuller, he was 4 for 5 with a homer. He has the ability to go yard.
Yeah, Lampe with 3 strikeouts, and Harvey wanted to opt for Goodwin here.
Ball 1 outside for Cable, 1-0. Zach Agnos at third. Caden Wallace after that walk at first. The 1-0. Cable in the stretch. Misses outside again. 2-0. Donlin having a word with Cable on the mound.
You know what? Although we're losing, it feels nice to be a part of the team that's hitting with when the drama's going on in the ninth. Although you're losing, something about it's a little more comforting knowing that your team is threatening to score and you don't have to protect a lead, but you're trying to gain a lead or at least gain a share of a tie. 2-0, way ahead here.
The Kansas State product has a great opportunity here to come back from a bit of a slump since that game at Falmouth. He's often seen at second base, Braylon Wimmer taking over that position defensively tonight. 2-0. Cable's pitching from the stretch. A foul ball into the backstop. Again, hesitant swings so far from the Braves in the bottom of the ninth. Nick Goodwin is the final hope again with 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. The Braves protecting a 9-0-2 record. Ground ball to short. Brown scoops it up. Can Nick Goodwin beat it? He can. And the 9-0-2 turns to 9-1-2 record. The Bourne Braves' undefeated start comes to a screeching halt by the hands of the Cotuit Kettleers. 2-0 on the road. The Kettleers take one away from the Braves. And this is the first time we're going to see a loss this season. But again, a great way to battle back. The Braves unfortunately drop one. They are 9-1-2. We saw some production, but there's going to be some work going into tomorrow's road game against Orleans at Orleans that Harvey Shapiro needs to think about.
Yeah, you can't win them all. Obviously, you would like to, but you kind of pause and sit back, and it makes you think about the stretch that they just went on. 11 games you did not lose at all once. 9-0-2 record to begin the season, something that hasn't been done in over a decade, so although you never want it to end, it's going to end at some point because you can't win every game. Obviously, you would have liked to have been to another team, not your division rival, and team that you're going to be battling with all season long, but Cotuit shut them out. Their pitching staff was excellent tonight. Harvey Shapiro made some moves in the ninth that almost got the Braves on the board and got them to battle back, but at the end of the day, you kind of sit back and it makes you think about the stretch that this team just went on, and the run they were on was historic. So at the end of the day, you sit back, you marvel at that, and then you kind of, almost in a way, it's like, okay, now we've lost a game. Now we don't have this pressure of winning
almost like an icebreaker.
Yeah, almost like an icebreaker. We don't have to win every single game now and have this pressure. So picked up a loss, and in some ways it's like, okay, now we don't have to worry about it hanging over our heads as far as something to live up to. Let's just go play baseball every single game. And I think that'll help them in the future.
Totally. And just to put this game in perspective, it was really done by Garriola with that 2-run shot. It scored him and Luke Gold, and that was the difference maker here at Doran Park. And, you know, it wasn't our day, but even when it's not our day, we still find a way to make it interesting and battle back. Ben Etheridge, we saw at the end of the game, Nick Zawak started and pitched 5 innings, and you know, for him coming out of here, we might not see him again. He put up another performance. It was just a matter of letting one pitch right outside of Garriola, and he took advantage. A final number, I believe, of 11 men left on base. That's really the reason why. You can't blame it on Zawak letting up a 2-run homer. You need more than 2 runs. in order to win a game. 0 runs, obviously, you're not going to get anywhere. But 11 men left on base for the Braves. That just can't happen in the future. If you want a chance to continuously compete at a high level game after game after game, that's why the Braves started 9-0-2.
Yeah, and obviously, we know for a fact, obviously know that you can't win games when you leave that many runners on base. So instead of focusing on that, I'm going to focus on the pitching staff tonight and what they were able to do. We know what Zwack did. We know that he's leaving. I'm talking about Chidoba and Ben Etheridge. And I think up and down the pitching staff of the Braves and who we have in the bullpen and who can start games for us, we're set. We really are. The pitching staff, when you allow 2 runs and allow 3 hits and your team gets 9 hits, you should not lose that game. No. And most times, you won't lose that game. Just a situation of where they were unable to get runners home on base. And, I mean, 9 hits and you only allow 3, and you happen to lose 2-0 thanks to a 2-run homer by Garriola. At the end of the day, this wasn't like they just got their brakes blown off and lost, 8-1, 9-2, something like that. It was a close 2-0 loss in which they had opportunities. So I think when you know you could have won a game but you'd lose, you know that you're in the game, and then it doesn't sting as much. It's not like you just got blown out. Yeah. So they know they had a chance tonight, and they'll work on those issues going forward.
The Braves are 9-1-2. In a way, like you said, Reeves, the ice has been broken, and the Braves' undefeated streak has been broken as well. We are going to be on the road tomorrow at Orleans in our matchup against the Firebirds, a West versus East Division matchup. It's going to be a 7 o'clock start. You can hear myself and Reeves on the YouTube stream. We're going to be radio only. Unfortunately, we can't be bringing the cameras to away games, but thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. The Braves continue their special season, I should say, although their special streak has been put away. The Braves lose 2-0. My name is Daniel Coates for Reeves Jackson. We thank you. Have a good night, and go Braves. Catch us tomorrow at 7 o'clock in Orleans.